How's it going, Shadow Moon? Welcome in, welcome in. Andy, what's going on? Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Friday edition of the reaction stream. Glad you're here. If you're watching live on Twitch, don't forget to follow. Sub if you'd like. I know Amazon Prime, if you connect it, you get like a free subscription, which is kind of nice. It's a nice, easy, free way to, support the channel, which is always great. But yeah, welcome everybody. I hope you had a tremendous week. We are ending it. We're heading into the weekend. Thankfully, for me, it's very much a crash landing, but it's been number one, a hot week, and number two, I just get pulled like 80 different directions in work. Like, it is just wild. Like, I've gotten to the point where I can't even have my email open, or I'll just get completely distracted from my actual work. And then, I open the email and it's 15 different people asking for 15 different things, distracting me from what I'm actually working on. It's unbelievable. So I check it in the morning, I check it right before the end of the day, and that's pretty much it. If you want to contact me in between there, I'm busy. I'm working on stuff. It's unbelievable. But hopefully you don't have to deal with that or anything close to that. But yeah, it gets a little tiring, honestly. I end the week and I'm just like, did I get anything done? Like, I'll be working on something and then somebody very important or, superior to me or something like that will just be like, hey, do this. And I'm like, okay, let me stop what I'm doing. And then we'll work on this to make sure it gets done. And then I go back to what I'm doing. And then something else comes in and I'm just like, stop. Stop it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's interesting. Keeps me on my toes. I'll say that. Keeps me on my toes. But, some weeks I just feel like, am I winning here? Are you winning, son? I don't think so, Dad. I don't think so. But yeah, fun times indeed, Rocco Kitty. Fun times indeed. Welcome in, welcome in. So I am thankful it's Friday. I hope you are as well. I hope you have something fun going on this weekend, whatever it may be, whether it's, and by the way, fun doesn't mean going out and instantly spending hundreds of dollars or whatever your currency is. But it can also be a nice quiet weekend maybe turn on a movie, have some popcorn or whatever your favorite snack is. Making donuts, oh my gosh. Well, I hope you brought enough for the class. But yeah, that's a great one. Certainly a great one. How's it going, Will? Fun means multiple assignments due. Oh my gosh. Oh God, it never ends, does it? Whether it's school or work, it never truly turns off. That is just a fact of life. But I hope everyone, has at least something this weekend that can be positive and you can enjoy, whether it's a snack you like, or maybe it's a dinner you enjoy, or maybe it's a show that you're looking forward to consuming or something. Doesn't have to be crazy. I think the older I get, the more I find the joy in the little things that I enjoy. And then that kind of adds up and builds up or whatever. And, gives me a little respite from all the horrors of the work week. But we have 5 amazing videos for you today. We're going to start off with HunterxHunter. We're going to head on to MDZS. And then we are going to go to All of Us Are Dead, which is a weird title to say out loud. All of Us Are Dead. Which I guess is true eventually, but a little grim, if you will. And then we're going to watch a Dragon Age edit, as well as finish the stream off with a Charmed edit. It's been a minute. Post them in the food channel in the Discord. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see those donuts. We might not be able to eat them, but we can visually, enjoy them. That's a good transition there. If you would like to join the Discord, it is free and available and awesome, and there's so many good people in there. As you can see at the top, it does tell you when we are live on Twitch, and it gives you a nice little link to it as well. That's super handy. Lots of fun conversations going on in there. I think how many members are we at? I think we're 140 at this point. 140 people, and all awesome. Every single one of them is awesome. It's very cool. It's a growing community, and I absolutely love it. What's been great is the fact that, so many of you have met others that enjoy the same thing you enjoy, and then you just become like instant friends, basically. It's amazing to witness. It's been very cool. So if you'd like to hop on in, talk about things you enjoy, whether it's a show or books or a movie or, maybe it's singers that you really enjoy. Maybe it's a group, whatever you might enjoy, go ahead and join. You'll probably find other people that enjoy it as well. That is for sure. And with the growing number, the chances of that increase tremendously. We've been following the saga of Cinnamon this week, the escaped... Oh my gosh. Cinnamon indeed. That has been interesting. So join just for Cinnamon, okay? Join just for Cinnamon. But yeah, we have a lot of amazing things. As you can see on the left-hand side there, those are the fandoms. Six of Crows, Shadow and Bone, Zenoonu's always popping off. If you're a Zenunu fan and you're not in there, what are you doing? K-pop as well. Young Royals, Arrowverse, a whole bunch of stuff. And then we have a bunch of fun random ones as well. Pet pictures is always great. Food pictures, aka donuts, soon. Hobbies, tech talk, D&D, movies. Maybe you see a movie. Maybe you're excited for a movie to come out. YouTube rabbit hole, that's always interesting. Like, algorithms are weird, and you'll just bounce from movie to movie, and then all of a sudden you'll be watching, how they lay underwater fiber optics, and you're just like, what is this? Where did I get here? Like, what is going on? Why am I watching this? So there's a lot of great stuff. And if you want to add a channel, all you have to do is hop into this request a channel right here, and you can put down something, and then we'll make it for you. So totally awesome. 140 members. Join today. It's free. Links are everywhere. It's on the website. It's under every video on YouTube. It's on the Twitch profile page. Like, it's everywhere. So go ahead and join today. Falling asleep with YouTube running always provides a unique wake up. That's true. That's very funny. That is awesome. Oh my gosh. If you would like to request your own videos, maybe you have some burning desire for, this specific video or this specific topic, go ahead and head on over to the toddreacts.com website. That is where the members are. So you can sign up today. Season and series tiers are where you request videos that will be on stream. Episode is longer form content. And preview is just kind of a, little hat tip. A little, I'm out here buskering with like a little hat on the ground, and you just throw a couple bucks on. That's basically what that is. So go ahead and join today. And while you're there, check out the summer collection. It is leaving in just over 10 days. 10 days and 6 hours from now. There's literally a countdown at the top. So you can see exactly when it's leaving. Summer collection's awesome. Obviously, I'm wearing the polo, as we can see here. It's available right now. Jersey, the leggings got a refresh. All these items are extremely lightweight. Even the hoodies are lightweight as well. Perfect for the summer months. And actually, some of these warmer fall days. Have we hit fall? It doesn't feel like it here. It was literally, I think it was literally 100 degrees here, Fahrenheit. Which is what, 33 degrees Celsius? Something like that? 34? Somewhere around there? I think it's somewhere around there. Don't quote me. But yeah, these are amazing. I would wear the hoodie right now, but this room that I'm recording in is so hot. I'm literally in front of a window which just radiates heat. I even got the blind closed too, and it's no help. These must be the cheapest windows ever installed. But check out the accessories as well. Those stay. Those don't disappear. Amazing stuff. Insulated tumbler, as you can see. I do have the coaster cork on the back in front of me. I have a lot of this stuff in front of me. It's just, moving stuff out of the way. Doesn't exactly seem like a great time to do it. The water bottle I take into work. It's a Camelback water bottle. Super awesome. Spill free. Ceramic mug is actually like right there. As you can see it, but it's super blurry because of the lens on the camera. Bokeh effect, it's what everybody wants. Bokeh. The more expensive the lens, the more bokeh you get. And head on over to Todd Reacts YouTube page. If you're watching on Twitch and you have no idea what this is the mainstay of the channel. Over 12,700 subs. Awesome stuff. Over 1,000 reaction videos. So if you're ever like, hey, where do these streams go or anything like that, they go on here. I upload them directly after the stream, or try to. Sometimes I run into some bumps in the road and then, it kind of delays it. But usually it goes up within a couple hours. It does take forever to upload these videos. So yeah, you can go ahead and check them out. There is a ton, as you can see, and it just keeps going. If you're looking for anything specific, this is just kind of a nice little YouTube feature. You can just hit the magnifying glass over here and then search for whatever thing you want to find. It's awesome. And yeah, I wanted to bring this up. I think this will give a little bit more of a better picture here as to when I say go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and bring this up. So these are the numbers for August. The total views of non-subscribers, over 93,000 views. Now, if every one of those people subscribed, this channel and this community would be massive. Massive. This doesn't mean anything monetarily for me, but it does mean more people would take the channel more seriously, which means we'd get more people in the chat and more people in the Discord and all that good stuff. So, hey, if you're watching this, if you're hearing my voice, go ahead and subscribe. It is free, and I am going to hammer this for the rest of 2024 because I know we can do it. I know we can get this channel up a little higher than it currently is. It just kind of adds a bit of seriousness to the channel. It makes it look more, appealing to people. So maybe they'll click on it and then they join us. And then, we got more people to talk to and all that good stuff. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe today. It is free. It is available 24/7. That subscription button, go ahead and hit it. And let's go ahead and add 90,000 subs in a day. Let's go ahead and do it. I know we can do it. If you're hearing my voice, you can do it. I believe in you. Alrighty. Let's go ahead. I already told you about the Discord, so join the Discord as well. Let's go ahead and jump into the first video. This week Sound shared a video on the Discord saying they wish that you could react one day, and I was able to tell them you already had. Instant joy for one member. That's cool. Goes to show it's worth checking out the playlists. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a ton of playlists. Let me actually bring that up. There is a ton of playlists here. So if you hit playlist, it'll bring you to it. There is an unbelievable amount of playlists here with a ton of videos as well. Oh my gosh. Let's see some of the bigger ones. How do I sort? Let's sort. That's not what I want. Here we go. Here's a playlist of literally all the live streams. Every single live stream that I've done on Twitch is right there. And it's 70 videos. Oh my gosh, we're at 70 streams already? What? Oh my gosh, that's a crazy number. What? That's unbelievable. Yes, there's a ton. Sprina videos, there's 39. Bunch of Cobra Kai, 23 Untamed videos, 11 Legends of Tomorrow. I do try to make a playlist for pretty much everything. Unless there's like one video or a one-off, I usually don't. 911, there's 31 videos. 42 Arrow. 26 Star Wars. 36 Shameless. 80 Doctor Who videos. Like, there is a lot. So if you ever, want a quick look, go for the playlists. But if you know you want to see something specific, go for the search function. That should get you there pretty quick. So if I go search and I go Arrow, hit enter, boom, it brings up the playlist and every Arrow video I have. Pretty easy, pretty awesome. So go ahead and check that out. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. All right, let's hop into this first video. The beauty and horror of HunterxHunter. This is going to be interesting. Just from that title, I'm interested. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Here we go. I wonder if it has closed captioning.
In 1851, a book titled Moby Dick was published by Herman Melville. The book follows the premise of a sailor called Ishmael, who ends up boarding a ship manned by a captain whose sole reason for living is to find and kill the great...
Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Am I just going to say this every time a new video starts in case somebody skipped immediately to another video using a timestamp? By the way, timestamps are down below in the video description.
Great whale that ate his leg. The infamous Captain Ahab disregards any other priorities or characters asking for help, just so he can have his desire for revenge sated. Against the better judgment of the reader, Ishmael joins this vengeful captain and embarks on an adventure and an experience he won't soon forget. However, the same can't be said for the rest of the crew. As you continue reading this book, you do start to realize that most, if not all of them, will ever see home again. You might be thinking, what does this have to do with the video, and why did that get so dark? Well, those are the same mixture of feelings I had when I first started reading HunterxHunter. My first inclination of this came when I took a glance at the volumes of the series before beginning my read. I noticed that the covers evolved slowly from these idyllic and carefree images of our characters with cute monsters to a tone of violence, murder, and childlike depictions of adult themes. As I continued chapter by chapter, I started to become addicted to this tonal whiplash, and in doing so began to see its gorgeous charm and murderous atmosphere. So today, I want to delve into how these visuals best represent what I feel HunterxHunter is trying to convey with its story, the duality of its world and characters that Togashi created, and ultimately how this story reflects the future of his series. So sit down and grab a drink as I tell you about the beauty and horror of HunterxHunter.
This is water, by the way. It is Friday, but, yeah, great timing indeed.
The world of HunterxHunter is one of dualities. Duality is a term meaning two, but can be used to compare and contrast two different things. Think of a coin with two sides.
If I say so.
A world of dark and light. By looking at one side, we see the differences to the other. To evoke how the panels and art of Togashi's story had this effect of both beauty and horror, I need to tell you my personal experiences and mentality when reading through the very first arc. When I started, I was very much taken aback by how, honestly, get ready, boring the first chapter felt to me. A young boy who is strong sets out to find his father. When I say boring, I don't mean that Gon's motivation for his journey isn't compelling, but it felt like a premise I had seen in many stories already. And even after Gon meets the side characters of Leorio and Kurapika, I felt like I was treading through a really familiar formula. And I did expect more from such a highly praised series. My interest did, however, begin to pick up when I realized that the Hunter tests weren't just feats of strength, but wit. This felt new, and it goes against what I had been expecting from a shonen. It was chapters and chapters and chapters later until a full-on battle or scuffle of fists actually took place. And other encounters based on different requirements were fascinating, like the bet of points in the tower phase of the exams. It wasn't the formula of beat this character and win, but instead defeat this character by grabbing the ball, stealing their number, or cooking the best meal. Togashi creates a closed system with limitations to make fights more complex and interesting. It was really starting to grab me. And then...
oh my gosh, that's almost a direct criticism of modern gaming. Very repetitive. You know, once you go through a certain amount of set, you know, steps and levels and stuff like that, it just repeats, or it minor changes where you're just like, isn't this exactly like what I just did?
Something
oh my gosh.
happened.
It's nice to have that
Something
freshness.
Changed. There was this feeling, like in a horror film, where everything may seem extremely ordinary and appear as they should without a second thought. But it's not until something shifts in the air, something is out of place, and what seemed normal no longer is. The first sign of this was seeing the character Killua immediately kill his opponent in one of the exams, despite aligning with our protagonist, who is morally good. But he exhibited killing intent and an arrogance of power over his foe that would be akin to the antagonist, ripping out the heart of his opponent without a second thought. By this point in the story, death and blood was not really a surprise or shock. At first to me, it seemed just really out of context for how violent it was for a shonen manga. And that's all I thought. Until chapter 27. During this phase of the Hunter's exam, each entrant must find their target who has a badge. Gon gets unlucky and is assigned to catch the badge of the mysterious and murderous Hisoka. Hisoka, up until this point, had showcased a natural skill for killing, engaging with any opponent who challenges him, and even allowing some to live so that he might see if they one day become stronger foes. After practicing on how to swipe Hisoka's badge, Gon decides to stalk him until he finds someone and is distracted enough so Gon can make his move. Hisoka encounters Leorio and Kurapika, but lets them live in exchange for a badge. As they leave, Gon in hiding watches, as Hisoka just stands there a while, pondering at how all the people he had met might get stronger, tougher, and more powerful than he. It is here that something happens. Hisoka feels something. An itch, a rush, a hunger for blood.
Oh.
To see such a furiously sketched illustration that felt so raw and eerie,
that is raw.
One of the black paintings of Goya. It just fucked me up. This panel of Hisoka evoking his hunger to kill shows us another side of Hunter x Hunter's characters, but also the world our story is based in. And it was from here that this tonal whiplash would occur again and again.
Yeah, exactly.
And again.
Good grief, that was dark.
The world Togashi created is loosely adapted from our own.
It's like one of those, you know, horror film tropes when like a kid is possessed or something and they start drawing with pen or something, an image, and it's just the most grotesque thing ever. That's what that reminded me of.
Hunter x Hunter's locations our characters visit are quasi-fictional.
Happy Halloween indeed.
The city of York New, for example, comes from the iconic New York. Purely fictional locations are named and based on its visual appearance, like Gon's home of Whale Island. This is again an example of dualities. One is an idyllic island where people have minimal problems and enjoy their quaint, simple lives as they speak to visitors from the outside world. The other is a bustling city full of corruption, crime, and opportunities to make money any way you want. And if you're from New York, let me know how that's going. This tone is ramped up, especially during the York New arc, which is around the same time the covers of the volumes change to feature a more mature tone, with the storylines involving Crollo and Kurapika. HunterxHunter finds a way to interject duality in its fictional settings by showcasing the nature of each one. The one that stood out to me the most was seeing the animals of the Zoldyck family. Monsters in HunterxHunter at this point are cute, but can also be deadly. The way in which they are drawn is still that of a less
literally looks like it was
representation, like the fox bear that attacked Gon when he was 9. Even monsters that literally kill some of the entrants in the Hunter exam are deadly to non-important characters, and thus are cartoonish. But here, when the gang go to retrieve Killua from his family's castle, Gon catches the eye of one of the large guard dogs that roam the estate, walking in shadow. Half shrouded in darkness, looming over Gon. Its calm eyes give no hint as to its intention upon seeing him. Is it hungry? Does it want to play?
What's funny
Does it
is
wish to kill?
The size of the dog is like, whoa, that's scary. And then you look at the face and you're like, oh.
Kill. There is no intention you can glean compared to the fox bear from Gon's childhood.
I think it's
Togashi has utilized an entire page for this interaction. This shows us what kind of wildlife roam this world, and they aren't just evil or good. Togashi explores this even more in the Chimera Ant arc. The arc that most fans, after hearing, let out an audible, oh, I'm so sorry. Representing nature as a beautiful thing at the arc's start, when Gon and Killua help Kite and other hunters in documenting all
didn't
these
have headphones
natural
in,
species.
yikes.
It's fun and joyful. The hunters are making a difference for the sake of discovery. It's like David Attenborough discovering all these new forms of life so we can better understand, appreciate, and love nature. But when the hunters learn of a rogue chimera ant, like a coin, the side flips to that of a threat. Nature is no longer something to discover, but something to stop before it kills and ends everything we know. And like the wolf of the Zoldyck estate, some of the chimera ants do not seem to be the real horror. This is in part to Togashi's ability to world build and create an asterisk to every place and creature he creates. But let's take a look at the side of his world that is based on ours, and the nature that inhabits it.
He's just a living machine? Humans. I get it.
Like I said before, the locales of HunterxHunter appear as a reflection to our world. If we take the map and alter this continent, it is in fact my home of Australia. Even the names of countries are reminiscent of their real-world counterparts. Right. Japan, the Federation of Ochima, and the God-blessed United States of Sahara. This isn't out of lack of imagination, mind you. In fact, it's done on purpose for our characters and audience to see the real world. And to explain what I mean by that, I have to tell you about the Republic of East Gorto. In the Chimera Ant arc, after the King of the Ants is born, they move to acquire a seat of power, and thus procure the estate of East Gorto's leader,
looks beautiful.
Ming Jol-ik. The ants use propaganda and the image of Ming after killing him to subdue the population and trick them into obeying orders. If you hadn't made the parallels yourself when reading or watching HunterxHunter, this is an obvious reflection of dictator states like North Korea.
Right.
This beautiful new world is full of interesting big cats and tortoises and English-speaking shapeshifters, but it's still full of humans who take advantage of people and kill for fun. By the end of the arc's resolution, King Meruem,
that's a spicy
his mother,
meatball,
and their subjects have killed well over 500,000 people. But Togashi says, are we that different in our treatment to our kind? The greyest of panels that evoke this is in chapter 311, well over halfway through the series, and takes place after the appropriately named nuke goes off. With 4 pages and 1 line of dialogue, Togashi just shows us scenes of his world. The rich dining on food, children made soldiers in a barren country, starving, amputated,
good grief.
Protests excessive lavish lifestyles, this marriage of two worlds that
the juxtaposition of that
with
is
the explosion
unbelievable.
of a nuclear device in the shape of a rose with poisoned thorns. That, in essence, is Hunter's world. Beautiful to admire, but still with thorns. I think you can't deny that Togashi was trying to represent parts of our world we might want to escape in our safe adventure shonen. It's still heartbreaking how what is happening now as I'm recording this video is still reflected in a chapter published in 2011. I don't want to dwell on that too much because it's not what I intend to show with this video nor the place to discuss in the comments, but still crucial. Because while HunterxHunter can fill the reader with excitement and joy of what adventure awaits them out there, it can also say that this world is full of people in it who abuse power, and there is no shonen way to defeat them like at the end of an arc. It's not as simple. To take this video somewhere a bit more hopeful and switch a bit towards beauty again, we need to talk about the characters.
It's about as political as this channel will get.
Within each of them. Much of what makes HunterxHunter's characters so complex is their struggle to balance two sides of themselves. The duality of two characters can show how the same character can be a different person entirely that isn't the prettiest based on their choices or their circumstances.
I just want to be a kid, I'm so tired of killing.
Before we get to the main examples like Gon and Killua, I want to examine a character shift that really surprised me. Netero, the chairman of the Hunters Association. Netero at first is shown as a small but important mentor character who has great skill. But a new side of him is shown in the arc of Chimera Ants. I'm sorry, I know there are other arcs, but all the best examples are here, so just bear with me. Seeing him again hundreds of chapters later, Netero
pretty much goes in line with everything I've read.
Hunter. He has always wanted to find true strength.
That arc is just everything.
With those who are also strong. This also contrasts why different hunters fight and what for. Hisoka wants strong opponents that he can kill as he sees them die in disbelief as combat is, in a ways, a dance or a sexual act to him. Netero at first is drawn as a small old man with a cool beard in a simplistic
The art direction for that character in his shift is amazing.
Meruem may possess, his face is drawn with shadow and such detail it could have been a berserk apostle. Netero is no longer a old Yoda figure to the reader. Palm is another example, but the opposite. When first meeting her, she is
looks like
creepy and scary.
Looks like the person from The Ring who climbs out of the TV or whatever. Oh my gosh. Oh, that just brought back terrible memories.
Her threat of killing Gon and the others slowly become more apparent as her representation on the page just becomes more real. Seeing her again after becoming an ant also shows us the overly detailed and realistic expressions of her rage, coupled with an overly cartoony violent tendency. After breaking away from the control of the ants, she is now drawn in a minimalistic way akin to
turning on the air conditioning more
to showcase her new calm and emotionally mature state of mind. When fighting Meruem, Netero is not really portrayed as the hero or morally correct individual of the fight. He's in fact the one pushing for them to do battle as the nations of the world want the hunters to end the ants now. Even though Meruem is the one seeking diplomatic resolution. Much of the art that portrays our characters when showing the duality of dark and light is drawn in a unique way rather than just simple or detailed. For Netero at his death, his face is drawn to show his malice as a human being before detonating the nuke. It's distorted and almost childlike in its design, mocking Meruem. These kind of panels remind me of those haunting images kids draw of something adult in nature, but without knowing the context. You can see it with characters who want death, but being cute or anime-like when saying it. Or characters enraged and drawn with large pen strokes that are uneven and imperfect, but they accurately depict the emotion, even to a cartoonish, exaggerated level. While it may seem like just an artistic choice to evoke the shocking reality of something in a medium that is Japanese comics, I think it actually evokes themes. Mind you, I'm not referring to Togashi's unfinished panels due to his condition. One of the themes that is present in the story is loss of innocence. particularly in Gon and Killua. Hunter x Hunter in its own way is a coming-of-age story. Learning as you grow older, the world isn't what you thought, and with everything I've covered so far, I think that is quite apparent. As Gon and Killua progress as characters in almost the opposite ways to each other, the artwork begins to make more and more sense. The sensibilities of illustrating disturbing concepts with negative space, or doing
opposite sides of the same coin,
trying to process some kind of trauma as it slowly loses its innocence. Gon is that same child, naive and unaware that people kill for fun and will take advantage of you to possibly no consequences, the horror of the real world. Killua's progression of losing his innocence has already taken place before meeting him, being trained as an assassin at the age of 4. But as he begins to make friends like Gon and appreciates the joys of finally being a kid his age, he starts to see the potential beauty in all the people he meets, rejecting the horrific upbringing and mindsets of his family, beginning to use his violence to protect those he loves, and even resorting
Can't
to
blame him
non-violent
going
means
against the family,
from
what I read.
Part
Not
of
great
these beautiful
situation.
panels are illustrated with light strokes to resonate that emotional feeling, whereas Gon spirals further into anger and revenge, chasing that thoughtless desire, and thus his artwork is represented by that.
Oh my gosh,
Gon
that
and
is so
Killua
creepy.
are not only two sides of themselves, but each are another side of the other. To go further, I know Togashi just called his series Hunter x Hunter because of the show Downtown, where they just repeat words for comedy, but let me have my curtains are blue for a reason real quick. Hunter x Hunter's title, two different hunters, and the title is reflected upside down like an opposite world. Dualities. This is the best metaphorical accident for a title I have ever seen.
Yeah,
one of the other themes of
that
Hunter
is a
x Hunter
great
is desire.
accident.
Every character in the series has one. Now I know what you're thinking, Mugen, that isn't uncommon in storytelling. Every character has something they want to get, and the story revolves around them getting it. But there is a difference between a want and a desire, at least in this story. Desires are our wants pushed to an even further level of obsession. I want to get stronger and powerful, versus I desire to be stronger and powerful. Gon as a character has an inherent desire to take the Hunter exam and see his father. After Gon's success, we see so many
Well, there's almost a negative tone to it. You know, desire, you're willing to do anything to get it, right? And it just depends on, you know, who you are as a character, who you are as a person. But want is more like, oh, wishful thinking. Desire is just like, I desire it. So fill in the blank, you know, gets dangerous indeed. You could do literally anything at that point.
Others who also have their own desires to be hunters, but because this is a story of dualities, many of them are shallow. Money, revenge, and the access being a hunter can just give you. We see why hunters act the way they do for good or bad. Leorio is a great character, and I would say a morally optimistic one, but he became a hunter to become a doctor because they get paid well. Jean in particular echoes the need for something he does not have, disregarding his own son as he is not what Jean cares and thinks about. He is his own Captain Ahab. He places his son on an island that is a whale, and the ship that carries everyone to the Dark Continent is in the shape of the whale. Even Togashi himself has a desire, and I think the story of Hunter x Hunter almost even reflects his own personal journey while creating his series. Before this video, I didn't know that much about Yoshiro Togashi, except for his reputation of just being on hiatus a lot. I knew the crux of the issue was being run down or ill. Rarely do mangaka take a hiatus to brainstorm, as that is a luxury unknown to many. The horror stories of burnout were also not unknown to me. I'm a Berserk fan, I know the lore. But the thing that was heartbreaking was learning how harsh his situation was. In 2022, news of Togashi's condition was revealed when thanking fans for an exhibition in his name. In it, he remarks in a light-hearted manner that he was unable to sit in his chair for 2 years due to lower back pain and his hips, a physical condition that could predate as far back as 2005 when he fell ill. Thus, couldn't do his job consistently. It got so bad, he had to use the shower to clean himself after going to the toilet. This illustration is what he used to imply how he draws now. Not perfect, but more comfortable for sure. Togashi is reported to be a perfectionist and does not really use assistance help at all. Had his first child when Hunter x Hunter began publishing, and many more unknown reasons that I imagine plague him every day. He is his own Captain Ahab, a man who is struggling to finish this behemoth of a story he created over a decade ago. I imagine he still has that passion for manga. He clearly loves the craft, the art, and the work of his peers, but now has scars and issues that have now emerged probably long before the days of Hunter x Hunter, working night and day for the magazine he loved. A month before I started making this video, Togashi tweeted an image of a manga worksheet that, when translated, means start over. I won't try to glean what that specifically means, but Togashi is working again, and hopefully with less pain, but I imagine there is still some hesitance, and whatever he makes will be as beautiful and fulfilling as what we have read, but he is heading into those dark waters again, waters full of pain and horror. He is heading towards his own dark continent. In the latest arc, our characters are heading on that same course, a place full of unknown danger, a place the strongest Nen users dared not stay, full of supernatural horror that actually surrounds the world of Hunter x Hunter.
I'm not an artist, I don't actually draw per se, but I'm just assuming. They make lap boards and whatnot, and the little paper holders or something like that that kind of holds it. That would still be so difficult to draw laying down. It would just throw your entire perspective off. I wonder how that happened. Said he was ill, but maybe it was just due to the sheer amount of hours that he would just spend sitting drawing, just constantly. I have no idea.
It is in fact the world
unbelievable
itself, but I guess Togashi, like his characters, will continue on toward their goal, chart these unknown waters. Creating content personally is nothing compared to manga creation, at least to me.
He was overworked even before creation of Hunter x Hunter.
A couple of cold sores on my lip and mental stresses of being personally unhappy with videos I've made. Many other YouTubers I watch and admire have shared similar stories, or even worse ones, from overworking.
I assume it's very much like, if you're the artist for something, you have to do all of it, basically. Because at that point, you could hire a team, but everything's going to look different. Because you have different styles, everyone's got their own way of drawing. So I'm assuming it's very much like a one-man or one-person team where you're just constantly drawing.
Or having an indefinite
that is
issue
unbelievable
placed on their body from constantly burning out. It is draining and admirably artistic. As someone who only got into reading Hunter x Hunter over a month and a half ago, I am more inspired to see this story end so Togashi can just say to himself, I did it.
Right.
Especially when there is so much more to do. So much more of the world to see. And so much horror and beauty left to hunt. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hunter x Hunter has been a really interesting read. At first, I didn't know I was going to make this video, but after certain events that I've talked about in this video and certain panels, I decided it was something that I really wanted to talk about. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and leave a like. I really appreciate it. And as of recording, we've reached over 20,000 subscribers, which I can't thank a lot of you enough.
Heck yeah.
I hope that
currently at 34,400 subs. That's great. This video came out 10 months ago, by the way. So link it down below in the YouTube description to check out the original video. Go throw it some love. Check out his channel, obviously. If the videos are like that, it's obviously a very good channel. So I'm assuming you're going to find videos that you enjoy on there as well. So don't be shy. Go ahead, check it out. Frida painted laying down because of disability and pain after an accident. You can see the pain in the work. Made me think of her. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Wasn't there a Frida movie that came out not that long ago with Salma Hayek playing Frida? I think so. Maybe I should check that out. Be an interesting biopic to see. Wow. That the beauty of Hunter x Hunter is pretty amazing. Like, I don't think I've seen as much of the manga as I've seen, edits involving the show, the anime. So it's kind of interesting to see like the different emotion evoked and the darkness. Like, whoa, some of those were creepy and scary and oh my gosh. It was unbelievable. And the fact that you can get that feeling across in a single non-moving 2D, just print, just panel, I guess they're called, is unbelievable. Like, that is an incredible talent. She was in a horrific tram accident, I think. And yes, though I haven't seen the movie. Yeah, I gotta check that out. That's probably pretty interesting. The fact that she was able to paint laying down is just... I mean, I guess if you have talent to begin with, it's not too difficult, but certainly it changes things because usually you're used to having, weight on your subject or medium or whatever. So I'm assuming laying down and not having that weight and having to push onto whatever you're painting on or drawing or whatever is different. It doesn't get rid of your artistic ability, but it probably changes it to a certain degree. That's something. That is definitely something. So, just to put a fine point on this, Hunter x Hunter chapters in the manga, an insane amount. 37 volumes as of October 2023. Original release date 1998. English release date 2005. This kind of just tells you all the different chapters and whatnot. But yeah, 38 volumes. 1998 to present. That is so much. Good grief. So I'm assuming that's how that works, right? It's just one artist doing every single panel, every single page. That is unbelievable. Oh my gosh, Togashi is married to the author of Sailor Moon. Whoa. Talk about a power couple. That's unbelievable. That must be painstaking work indeed. Absolutely. Trying to get all those lines, like all those unbelievably tiny lines, just... That's wild. So much respect for that. Began drawing manga at an early age before being recognized for his talent by the publishing company while attending college. Authored several different manga series in different genres over the past 3 decades. Best known for writing and illustrating Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter, which are some of the best-selling manga in history. I think I've heard of that. Pretty sure. That is such an unbelievable power couple. Oh my gosh. Wow, a creative duo indeed. Wow. They got 2 kids. Won a couple awards. Honestly should have won many more awards. Come on now. I don't know who's giving out awards and from where, but let's get them some more awards, please. Incredible. The Yu Yu lasted 175 chapters over a 4-year span. Oh my gosh. Oh my, yeah, I'm starting to see the overworked aspect. Went on to sell over 78 million copies worldwide. Holy crap. That is so many. Married to the creator of Sailor Moon. That is unreal. That is so cool. You were introduced at a party. All right. 1997. Very cool. That is so neat. Enjoys board game style video games and bowling with his family. Hey, bowling is amazing. It is difficult. I feel accomplished just getting over 100, honestly. I'm not a good bowler. But, you know, if I can get over 100, I feel pretty happy with myself. Also likes watching horror movies. Don't Look Up and Dawn of the Dead, his favorites. All right, I'm kind of seeing a little bit of that with the shaded faces and whatnot. Terrifying, honestly, very terrifying. That's why he was overworked. Absolutely, 175 chapters in 4 years. That's wild. Got over 1 million followers in a day. What? Created a Twitter account that was later verified. Gained over 1 million followers in a day and 2 million in 72 hours. Most followed manga artist on the platform with over 3 million followers. Mainly posts the progresses of his works. All right, that's cool. That's awesome. So you can kind of see where he's at. For years, been suffering from chronic back issues, as we heard in the video, leading to several hiatuses spanning multiple years. Due to these issues, he's only able to draw sporadically and only while laying down. Oh, man. That's too bad. Art style began with screen tone. I don't even know what that is. Applying textures and shades to drawings, used as an alternative to hatching. Okay. But gradually developed into minimalism. Oh, that's interesting. Artwork during HunterxHunter's magazine run is often sketchy and missing backgrounds, but Togashi goes back and fixes it for its collected release. That makes sense. He also wrote that Togashi has a love of gore and know that some panels in HunterxHunter are apparently censored for gore, being covered with screen tone. Well, he is a horror movie fan, so it makes sense. It checks out, right? That's really cool. Oh my gosh. Prolific production. Like, do you know how long it would take me to do one panel? Oh my gosh. That's unbelievable. The amount of production he's been able to get out. Obviously, it's been slowed a little bit, but very cool. Very, very cool. 10 times HunterxHunter was darker than it needed to be. Well, now that we know he's a huge fan of horror films, this all makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. At first glance, HunterxHunter appears to be a standard shonen fare, lovable characters, fun storylines, fascinating abilities, and this holds true for the most part. Audiences adore Gon and Killwa's friendship as much as they are excited by the combat sequences and the limitless plethora of antagonists. At the same time, HunterxHunter's narrative occasionally takes a turn for the worse, not in terms of quality, but as much as in the extremely dark and violent scenes incorporated into the anime. To be honest, if it's just blood and gore, it could have been written off as merely graphic, but the story includes several instances of psychological horror as well. I would have taken a day and it would have been horrible. Yeah. I would have, I don't even know. Honestly, I'm so bad at drawing. It's really something. Neferpitu? I am butchering that. Examines Pokely's brain. Oh my gosh. This panel specifically is terrifying. Pokel, the hunter of fantastic beasts, is unfortunate enough to be knocked out and captured by a group of chimera ants. Soon wakes up but finds he's trapped in the queen's lair and decides to camouflage himself by diving under a mound of bones. Opened up Pokel's skull, a la Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs. Unlike the cannibal psychiatrist, though, P2 probes Pokel's brain, extracting information about Nen and its principles by skillfully kneading his cerebral cortex. Interesting. Kiwa's cold-blooded heart excavation is terrifying. Yeah, we've seen that a couple times. Consumption of Reyna Kurt by the Chimera. As her older brother, he wants nothing more to keep her safe and happy. That is until they make their way into the riverbank in order to catch some fish. All right, a little hungry. They encounter an enormous chimera who moves menacingly toward them. Yikes. Kurt bravely attempts to protect Reyna, but they are presumably killed. In a later scene, the Ant Queen is implied to be feasting on the two children. Thankfully, the little girl is reborn, reuniting with her mother in a bittersweet conclusion to her story. Oh my gosh. Uvogin transforms a skull fragment into a projectile with his mouth. What? Each takes a stance and attacks, only to have his skull partially gnawed off by his opponent. Gruesome as this sounds, Uvogin makes it so much worse by spitting a piece of skull straight through Rabid Dog's Nen-enhanced palm, striking him in the temple. Okay. When Kite's head was on P2's lap. Oh boy. Oh boy. You know what's interesting though? They're able to get away with this, obviously, because it's anime. It's like manga, you know. It is what it is. It's just drawn. It's not real people. It's fake, obviously. Well, fake, right? So they're able to kind of get away with it. It reminds me of South Park, obviously, who's been able to do and say some things that are just crazy concepts. If you were to have it like live action, it would never pass censors. But because it's like, you know, young kids that are just drawn, you know, they can get away with it. So it kind of reminds me of that. You can get as crazy as you want to get, basically. And everyone's just like, oh, it's just, you know. But when you think about it, nope. Yeah, exactly. When Mitsuba fails to fulfill Aluka's conditions. One of the many butlers serving the Zoldyck family, Mitsuba is asked by Kikyo to take part in her experiment. Matriarch, being aware of Aluka's bizarre form of wish-granting magic, intends to unravel the rules behind her daughter's ability. Mitsuba, according to her directive, rejects all of Aluka's requests. After the fourth time, her body is compressed until it disappears completely. An event that sounds far less dreadful than it appears. Oh, so like that, oh gosh. I shouldn't make that comparison, but I'm thinking of that submarine, if you know what I mean. That got really compressed very quickly. Spot and Rover, Yunju's horrifying human pets are uncomfortable to watch. Yikes. Oh, it's like a centaur with human pets. Domesticated a pair of unknown characters who are turned into a rather ghastly pair of human pets. Forced to walk on their elbows and knees. Oof. Not to mention as naked as the day they were born. Oh my gosh. Kind of freaky stuff is going on in there. Spot and Rover are killed by the Chimera Ant when he gets bored with them. Well, that makes sense, I suppose. She was squeezed and twisted like a wet towel. Oh my gosh. Oh, yo. That is brutal. That is a brutal way to go. Tale of Euro's violent childhood and uncaring father is heartbreaking. When his backstory is finally uncovered, viewers learn that he had experienced one of the worst childhoods imaginable. His father, an alcoholic abuser, is respected by the young kid. This changes after the kid is violently beaten by one of his peers. At this point, he is told that his dad had never really cared for him. So Euro naturally chooses to end the man. Let's go ahead and clean that up for YouTube. To end. Cease to exist. Story behind the Sonata of Darkness is chilling. Mutated skin. Oof. Audience is thankfully spared the vision. Well, that's great. Miriam's thoughts on humanity: to eat or to oppress. Ant King is born with a sense of ruthlessness that surpasses his minions by a mile. He destroys his mother's body, ignores her dying throes, and subsequently ends a couple of low-ranking Chimera ants for seemingly no reason. Wow. But then, reconsiders decisions. Okay. There's a little redemption arc there. There's a tiny little redemption arc. Oh my gosh. Lots of beauty, lots of horror, apparently. Which, honestly, that just makes it more interesting to me. It's like, wow, how crazy can this get, You're just constantly turning the pages like, where's it going to go from here? Where's it going to go from here? What's going to happen next? Because he fell in love with oh my gosh. Well, that's interesting. Good grief. Nope. Nope. Like I said, link down below in the YouTube description for that wonderful video, that presentation, if you will. It was very nice. Very, very nice. Let's go ahead and hop on to the next video. It is Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, MDZS. It is a music video entitled No Light. Hopefully it's not so dark we can't see it. That is the goal. All right, let's bring it up here. Obviously, I'm making a joke off the title. No light. Oh, hold on. It's got closed captioning. Let me adjust it a little bit here. You can actually read it. There we go. Such a dad joke. Oh, gosh. You know what? I'll just embrace it. A lot of my jokes are pretty lame, I'll be honest. All right. Bring it back to the start. Take it back to the start. We go. Oh, it just like skipped.
No light.
gotta say, the art direction of this is just incredible. It is truly beautiful. Like, they put a lot into the background, the foreground. There's just so much going on that it seems almost like it's live action in a way. Like, I know it's not live action, but there's so much going on. It makes it more real. One of the craziest things is, sometimes you look at some of this and it's just, anime or manga or whatever, and it's so minimalist to the point where there's not much going on in some of the scenes. But this, it just seems like so busy in a good way. It's very interesting. Like this must have taken multiple people to do. Like a full studio. Yeah, absolutely. Just unbelievable. I can't tell if the shaking of like our perspective is part of the edit or it's part of the show, but if it's part of the show, I mean, unbelievable. The attention to detail is just incredible. Yeah, it is. It was part of the show. Oh my gosh. That makes it even better. By the way, song choice, amazing. Amazing. Oh my gosh. Song choice. Amazing. That is so good. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. I can't believe how stunning that show is. The animation is just great. Great. The song choice was beautiful for the edit. Like, that was really well done. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love. Check out the channel. I'm assuming they have other killer edits. Oh my gosh. That is something. Oh. And the fact that, how am I thinking of this? It's very much like whoever was directing this or, putting it together was thinking of very cinematically, the shaking of our perspective to kind of add to it. Like we're almost there in whatever craziness is going on. Seeing through a cloud of smoke to see a character and also having background, like what? The amount of layers to every scene is just incredible. You got a fight going on, and then the background you have like birds flying around and like this pattern that has something to do with it. Like, just unbelievable amounts of depth to it. It's just really great. Oh my gosh. Really something. Holy cow. How a Chinese BL series became a bigger hit on Tumblr than Demon Slayer. Tumblr's year in review rankings hold both surprising and unsurprising results. My Hero Academia and Haikyuu among 2020's best anime and manga hits on the site, and Naruto is persisting as a timeless classic. But One Piece and Demon Slayer are rather low on the top 10. In fact, these two Japanese shonen heavyweights are beaten by the donghua Chinese animation, MDZS, or the Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. MDZS's protagonists Wei and Lan also made it to the top character list, beating several popular mainstream characters like Hinata from Haikyuu. But what exactly is MDZ about, and how has it taken Tumblr by storm? Obviously, this is a few years old, 4 years old. I can't believe 2020 was 4 years ago. What? About to be 5. Oh my gosh. I don't know what happened since like 2019, maybe 2015. Like, it just seems like time has gotten weird. MDZS is a supernatural boys' love franchise with an extensive collection of media spin-offs. The creator is also the author of Heaven Official Blessing. I feel like I read that before, but it's still surprising. That is so amazing. The fact that you can be involved in like multiple, whether it's manga or donghua or anime, whatever. Like, it's just incredible to me. Like, I feel like I would get one of these done and just be like, all right, I'm done. Like, that's enough. I've put in a lot of time and effort and years. I'm good. Oh my gosh. Originally started as a novel, then received a donghua, a manhwa, and even a live-action drama called The Untamed, obviously. Untamed is also very popular, as we know. Voted the #1 drama on China's social media site Weibo. It is also available to stream on Netflix. Story is somewhat convoluted and tends to use a lot of flashbacks. However, despite a rocky start and a confusing tone, the plot becomes more intense as it progresses. Characters are also very strong and well developed, landing them in high spots in the anime and manga fandom metrics lists. Wei, the chaotic main character, possesses cheerful eccentricity and undeniable charm, while Lan appeals to those who love stoic types with the soft, gooey insides. MXTX has 3 books, and MDZS is her second kid. Oh, okay. I feel like I'm still processing 2016. Yeah, very true. Very true. I don't know. Time is just weird right now. It's weird because I know I'm getting older, but it also, and the years are passing, but it also still feels like 2020 in a weird way. Another popular character on Tumblr's popular anime and manga character list is Zhang, Wei's brother, with whom he has a bitter, complicated relationship. Series visuals aren't to be ignored either, as we literally talked about. MDZS is well animated with a, that's putting it lightly, well animated, and a style that makes its men look very pretty, resulting in many GIF-worthy sets, photo edits. Characters' good looks are admired by many fan artists, with their tags on the site full of amazing art with thousands of notes. This isn't exclusive to Tumblr either. Honestly, I didn't even look at the character art. I was so busy looking at everything else. The action, getting the emotion across, just kind of the settings. They're just stunning. When researching, I found out the author was in prison for a while. Really? Something about self-publication being outlawed. Oh. Okay. That makes sense. Does make sense, unfortunately. With an extensive world and several adaptations already to enjoy, fans have a lot of content to discuss. Yeah, just unbelievably well done. Holy cow. Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, 5 things we want in the final season. Yi City Arc. At the end of season 2, Wei and Lan travels took them to a ghost town named Yi City. This arc is particularly heartbreaking. Before the duo arrived, another cultivator who went blind after tearing out his eyeballs to give to his friend, had been to Yi City, which he takes to traveling around, helping villages exorcise demons. Exorcise the demons. What is that from? That sounds like Jim Carrey. I don't know what that's from, though. And night hunting as he goes. When he arrived at East City, he met a young girl, also blind. Shortly after, they rescue an injured cultivator who soon settles in with the two of them. However, this mystery cultivator isn't who he says he is and has a dark, twisted past. Why Wei turned to demonic cultivation. Despite being told how dangerous demonic cultivation can be for his body and mind, Wei never gives up on using it. In fact, it seems to be his primary method. Hopefully, Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation Season 3 will answer why he turned to these methods in the first place. Yeah, well, obviously you want the why, right? The why is very important. Storytelling. Mystery of the zombie arm. I've been trying to figure out who the zombie arm they found at Mo Village belongs to. Who have been traveling to wherever the arm points at to see where it might be leading them. Oh, that's interesting. So they brought it with them. They found a pair of legs from a dismembered body in Season 2. Season 3 will follow the duo as they search for the rest of the body, finally figure out who it belonged to. Oh, that's interesting. Will Wei reunite with his family? Wei is, by all accounts, a morally gray character. He had many awful things done to him, and in the name of justice has done equally horrible things to his perpetrators as revenge. Happy ending for Wang Jian, affectionately coined Wang Jian by shippers. I almost said another word. Oh my gosh. I saw that and I almost said it. Good grief. One of the biggest things fans want to see in Season 3 is those two living happily ever after, of course, right? Jigsaw. Do you want to play a game? Oh my gosh. You know what's funny? I saw the first couple Saw movies and then, I basically just took a hiatus because I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm not interested in this. It's just kind of repetitive. It's not interesting. And then I went to the movie theater and saw Saw 10, the most recent one. And I was like, wow, that was really good. Like, all of a sudden, it just like reignited my passion into it. I'm like, whoa, that was like really interesting. They really took it to an interesting place. Kind of refreshing in a way. And they are coming out with a Saw 11, by the way. We most likely won't see anything truly explicit, so fans will have to look at the more subtle cues. In the novel they did. That's great to hear. In traditional Chinese weddings, couples have to bow 3 times. Once to the heaven and earth, once to their parents, and once to each other. Oh, that's nice. That's cool. It's kind of giving kudos to, and thanks to, everything that made it possible. Very cool. I like that. The novel also has the truly explicit. Well, there you go. If you're looking for it. Disable ad blocker. How about, no. When will MDZS be dubbed in English? When to expect a dubbed release? You know me. I do like the dub. Whether it's B-dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. MDZS Season 3 has been back for some time. Since the first season aired back in 2018, the world-building, morally gray main character storyline and well-written queer romance have won over many fans. At the time of writing, MDZS is available to watch online with English subtitles on Tencent's overseas streaming platform WeTV. Some episodes also available to stream legally on Tencent's YouTube channel. Unfortunately, for those who prefer donghua and anime in English, MDZS hasn't gotten the dub treatment yet. Yeah, I'm pretty terrible at reading subtitles, honestly. I don't know why. I guess I didn't grow up doing it or doing it often. I'm assuming if you watch with subtitles frequently, it's probably easier. But honestly, I literally just spend the entire time staring at the subtitles. And then I'll remind myself, like, oh yeah, you haven't looked at what's going on. Like, it's not good. It's not good. As anime becomes more popular in China, donghua is likely to grow as well, with more works getting dubs to make them more accessible to audiences worldwide. If a dub to MDZS is announced, we will update this space. Well, doesn't look like it. Researching told me stuff. Oh my gosh, yeah, I bet it did. I have auditory processing issues, so subs help even in English-speaking shows. Very cool. I'm glad it helps. Yeah, I know quite a few people that watch subtitles just because it helps, honestly. And a lot of sound mixing is not very good, so they'll have like the background sounds or music too high, and then the audio for the voices and whatnot, the dialogue is just way too low. I experienced that once recently. I was watching something and it was so bad. Like, I was just like, I can't even hear the dialogue right now. Like, it's so one-to-one with the background music that it's washing out the dialogue. In those occasions, I will turn on subtitles, but usually I try not to, which is probably a detriment, which makes watching any foreign language stuff just impossible for me, unless there's a dub. I did watch Squid Games with the dub version, which honestly was probably a mistake, but it was just easier for me to consume. I've had some PC games I've struggled with lately, yeah. I wish there's subtitles in everyday life. I never understand people on the first try. That's a good point. Very often I'm going, huh? What? And you know it's annoying. You know it's annoying. Having to repeat yourself and all that stuff. Yeah, I get it. I totally get that. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some love. That was a lovely edit. Go ahead and hop into the next video. It is called Levitating. All of Us Are Dead. It is a humor video. So, fascinating title. All of Us Are Dead, and it's a humor video. All right. Let me go ahead and I don't think this, well, maybe it will have closed captioning. I'm not sure. So we'll leave it like that for now. But if it doesn't, I'll adjust it. It's Korean? Okay. Go ahead and bring that up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are we a minute in? What's happening? Going back to the beginning. Oh, that's a bad time for the chain to go out. Oh. Right, the fact that the zombies run fast, that is terrifying. Oh, I probably do need those on. Oh my god. Hold on. All right, we're going back. Honestly, I got lost in the action. I got completely lost. I didn't even realize they were talking. Fast zombies is cheating, indeed. It always makes me think of the Brad Pitt movie with zombies. What is that called? That's oh gosh, World War Z, I think it is, where they had fast running zombies. That was terrifying. Oh my gosh. Because, you know, speaking of zombies, Shaun of the Dead is 20 years old. It is the 20th anniversary of Shaun of the Dead, Simon Pegg's movie, which is an amazing movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It is 20 years old. And thankfully in that one, they're slow. But yeah, when they're fast moving, oof. I'm not hugging you. Oh gosh, that's gonna hurt. You're drawing them to us. So do they move by sound? Now that's funny. It's way too clear. Oh gosh. Oh. It's like A Quiet Place when it's Shaun of the Dead. That's always the biggest thing, like who's bit, who's a zombie.
Okay.
Oh gosh. I mean, I get it. I get it. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some love. That was very much like Shaun of the Dead with World War Z. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let me go ahead and bring this up real quick. Crazy thing. Shaun of the Dead going back into theaters for 20th anniversary. Time to enjoy a nice cold pint and wait for this to all blow over. 20th anniversary re-release between August 29th and September 5th. Well, it's already over. It's already over. Sorry about that. 20 years ago, the worldwide release of Shaun of the Dead changed my life forever, Wright said in a statement. Yeah, I mean, that is literally one of the best zombie movies to ever come out, period. Like, that was so good. Anyway, little aside there. All of Us Are Dead is a South Korean coming-of-age zombie apocalypse horror television series. What an interesting mix. Coming-of-age and zombie apocalypse horror film. What an interesting combo there. Series centers on a group of high school students in the fictional South Korean city and their struggle to survive amidst a zombie outbreak. Based on a webtoon, really. Published between 2009 and 2011, series was filmed at a Sunghi Girls High School. Series released 2022 on Netflix. Following its release, the series was watched over 474 million hours since its first 30 days on the service. 2022 was renewed for a second season. Second season is expected to release in 2026. Whoa. That is a lot of time going into that. So the first season came out 2022, and then you have to wait 4 years for the second season. Whoa, at this point, you're just like, give me anything. Can we get a teaser trailer? Something? Science teacher enacts a horrific experiment, causing a local high school to be overrun with zombies. As the outbreak spreads through the city and the beleaguered authorities struggle to contain it, a group of trapped students must band together and use their wits in order to survive and reach safety. It sounds great. It sounds amazing. Not a huge fan of zombie stuff. I tend to like unusual ones like iZombie. Okay. I think I've only watched the Train to Busan. Shaun of the Dead was fun, though. Indeed. Indeed it was. Got traumatized. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. That, I don't know. I think I've made it fairly well known that I don't handle horror films very well or shows. But zombie stuff I can do with. I can deal with. Shaun of the Dead was great. Day of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead. All that stuff is amazing. This sounds great. I'm trying to think. Oh gosh, what was the one with Nicholas Hoult? Oh man, what is that called? It's like a romance kind of thing. Warm Bodies, yes. Yes, Warm Bodies. That's a great one. Thought that was pretty interesting. 6.8 out of 10, 81% on Rotten Tomatoes, Warm Bodies. Popcorn meter, aka audience score, 73%. Not bad. Too bad. Simply the first must-see movie of 2013. Well, there you go. Let's all go back in time to 2013 and make sure it's the first movie we see. It's the perfect modern Romeo and Juliet. What an interesting review that is. What an interesting review. I loved Warm Bodies. It's cheesy, but it's cute. Indeed. That is definitely the feeling I had from it. It's definitely cheesy. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. That was pretty good. Oh my gosh, now I got that song stuck in my head. Reception, Rotten Tomatoes, the show had an approval rating of 88% based on 26 reviews. Site's critical consensus reads, while All of Us Are Dead loses some of its bite with an overlong season, its emotional grounding puts plenty of meat on the bone. All right, does it have to be that? Come on now. Can we honestly just tone it down a little bit? Metacritic gave it a weighted average score of 67 out of 100 based on reviews from 5 critics. So somebody absolutely hated it, considering that's out of 5 critics' reviews. IGN rated it a 7 out of 10. Boy, that's not surprising. The same IGN that rated Concord 7 out of 10. Noted that the series was clever, thrilling, and also a bit exhausting. Makes the most out of its nightmarish central location to otherworldly dizzying effect. What does that even mean? What? Won a few awards. Couple actors. Pretty cool. All of Us Are Dead Season 2 just got closer to our screens. Yes, 2026. That is unbelievable. Production on the second season has been pushed back to 2025. Wow. That's unbelievable. Like, what? How do you have 475 million hours of views on Netflix and you pushed it back this far? The stated delay for the production delay was to ensure a better production and a better final product. What? The first season has like 81%. What are you talking about? I'm assuming they lost some people, like whether it be showrunner, writers, something happened. Streamer employed a similar strategy with other K-drama hits like Sweet Home and Squid Game, with both shows renewed for 2 additional seasons, all at once after respective 3-year waits. However, the present state of All of Us Are Dead Season 2 is crossing into uncharted territory. Yeah, I'd say so. Story itself was set with Season 2 in mind, so if Season 2 comes out, it might be a little more interesting and expanded story. Season 1 was a survival period for humans. There was a sense of humor, but Season 2 feels like it will be survival period for zombies. Oh, so the kids start going on the attack, basically. And the humans start winning. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah, that's crazy that it's been pushed back that far. Better production and a better final product. Boy, I wish video game developers would take that same attitude. Oh my gosh. If Cyberpunk just did that, you know? It would have landed in people's systems or PC, and it would have been flawless, bug-free. I guess in some way I'm like, you know, this day and age, I appreciate them taking extra time on it, just because so many studios and developers are very much into the, just get it out there, you know? Even though it's full of bugs, it's not the full game. You know, it is what it is. It's super rushed, but, you know, we got deadlines. We got to pay people. It's just like, you know, maybe I guess it's not that bad that it's taking 4 years. Last time I heard from a Korean production company, they still haven't released. Yeah, I guess, you know what? I guess I changed my own mind on that. I started thinking about all the super rushed, awful launches that have been happening. And I'm like, you know, maybe it's not such a bad thing. Maybe it's not such a bad thing. It looked interesting. I'll say that. It looked like something that I would enjoy. I don't have a Netflix subscription at this point. I think they just raised rates again. But if I did, this would be something I'd watch for sure. That does seem pretty interesting. Every character who survived in All of Us Are Dead ranked. Just like Squid Game, All of Us Are Dead shows no mercy to its characters with dramatic devastation and fan-favorite deaths. Numerous characters perish as the zombie outbreak unfolds. I mean, that's realistic, right? A lot of people are going to go, leaving only a few survivors by the end of the series. Season 2 is highly anticipated, with key characters like Hari and Namra facing personal challenges and losses. Like its Korean survival drama predecessor, Squid Game. I love how everything is just compared to Squid Game. The Netflix hit series All of Us Are Dead shows no mercy. Show centers primarily on students who attempt to escape their school, blah, blah, blah. We read that already. Earning an impressive 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. Starts with a massive cast. That's definitely smart. Start with a big net and then work your way in. But the first episode quickly sweeps through the students in a display of dramatic devastation, somewhat reminiscent of Squid Game's very first stage. Oh yeah, that's right. Countless characters perish as the series continues, including several fan favorites. That's the good stuff. When you have a favorite character and then they just go and you're like, oh, what? What? You're just kind of stuck in that, like, what just happened? Very few survivors remain in the high school and nearby city by the end. Park is rescued early on by Nam. In the first part, the firefighter father of female protagonist is called to evacuate a group of politicians after one of its members falls victim to the virus. As the infection spreads, Soju proves his incredible ingenuity and alongside his fellow firefighter, manages to protect the safety of Assemblywoman Park and her subordinates. Politicians are brought to the quarantine camp and survive the whole experience. Soju isn't so lucky. Dang. Oh, gosh. Talk about giving your life. As his subsequent quest to help his daughter costs him his life. On the other hand, Assemblywoman Park's serious attitude and perseverance ensure that the citizens of her constituency get the help they need and deserve. Her survival is likely going to matter greatly in the upcoming season. Hyo has a close call, but manages to make it to the end. One of the least prominent characters in the show. Doesn't stand out as a particularly skilled asset to the group. Boy, it's like a subtle jab, isn't it? Understandably disheartened by the events, but keeps going with the encouragement of her friends. At the same time, Hyo is also rather sensitive, as seen when she sheds tears whenever anyone dies. Well, I mean, that would be traumatic, would it not? That would be horrific. I would assume that would be something that you would eventually lose, your sense of, humanity in a way, as you're going on through this. Very much in the air of like The Walking Dead, where you saw as time went on, they just started losing their emotions in a way, and they would just start like not showing emotion as more and more people died and they experienced it more. I think that, I don't even know what that is. They're like constant state of shock or something. But yeah, it definitely makes me think like as time goes on, those emotions will become more like hardened. But yeah, same time, rather sensitive. Her empathy goes a long way in offering solace to her friends and allies. As a timid person, follows the lead of the others and does her best to help. On the other hand, she has been shown to have an occasional temper, especially regarding Dae-soo. One of the later episodes, she has a close call when she trips and falls, but is rescued. While Woo-jin himself is killed, the tragic final death of the series, Hyo manages to make it to the end. Song and his group reached the quarantine camp safely. I'm not going to lie, this was so funny. Just being on the back, just whack, whack, whack. Detective. After discovering the truth about the Jonas virus, the Jonas Brothers virus? Oh my gosh. Detective Song embarks on a quest to share the information with the authorities. While traveling across the city, he recruits an inexperienced officer. It's clear he wants to rescue everyone he sees. He even protects Byung Chan, during the evacuation of the police station, which is when he learns about the laptop. He ends up saving video streamer Orangibberish. What an interesting name. And the 2 other survivors, a little girl and a newborn baby. Or actually, the whole group survives the ordeal and safely reaches the quarantine camp. Wow. Remains determined to start the battle for her schooling. Mijin. Older student who is smoking in the bathroom at the beginning of the outbreak. Oh. Park may be a little rough around the edges, but her blunt realism certainly makes her special. On occasion, she appears to be almost dismissive of the events around her, commenting that the final exams are much more difficult than the current zombie crisis. Oh my gosh. Come on now. That's so cringe. It's like the character who's like, oh, this isn't that bad. I've been through worse. I've taken exams. At the same time, her budding friendship with Archer Jang shows a far more emotional side of the character. Mijin is also grief-stricken when witnessing the final deaths in the show, perhaps because, unlike the others, she didn't see quite as many of her friends succumb to the disease in front of her. Despite the traumatizing experience, Mijin remains determined to fight on. Upon reaching the quarantine camp, she even protests, requesting to continue her education. Well, hey, kudos to her for being, focused on education. But wow, read the room here. We are trying to survive. People are dying. It's pretty bad. But it's kind of interesting that eventually, the emotions start flowing. Breaking that hard exterior and I guess you never quite know how you would respond to this situation. Some people would be like, dismissive of it, very much like Mijin, dismissive. This isn't happening. This is, nothing's going on. We'll be fine. And then obviously you have the people that would be overly emotional in the beginning. And then you have, I'm assuming the psychos come out and just start going to town. And you're just like, all right, as long as that person likes me and I'm on their side, I think those things will be all right. Dae-soo is injured in the explosion but keeps going anyway. Come on now. Look at that alias. Come on. What? Good grief. One of the most likable characters in All of Us Are Dead. Yang may play the part of comic relief, but that doesn't make him any less of an asset. Playful nature might seem childish at times, but Dae-soo is nevertheless one of the few centers of attention. More importantly, there are times when his physical strength acts as the sole barrier between the group and the zombies. On one occasion, he single-handedly held back the massive throng, though he would have doubtlessly been overcome had his friends not stuck around to save him. Selfless. Dae-soo runs into a spot of trouble later when the military explosion injures his leg, and yet he and the rest of the group persevere, ultimately survives. When the second season rolls around, fans definitely look forward to seeing him again. Ari fights on despite her brother's death. That would be terrible. Gifted Archer returns to her high school after experiencing failure at her competition. While she might not have managed to qualify for the national archery team, she does much better throughout the show by killing a surprisingly large number of zombies. Yeah, that'd be like shooting fish in a barrel, I guess. Yeah, certain Asian dramas love the fat comic relief trope, which is pretty yikes. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty yikes. I guess it's good to have some comic relief, but yeah, that's kind of a wild trope to have. Soo survives all the numerous perils he is exposed to. Reformed bully often acts as the group's protector throughout the show, using his fighting skills to combat even the most dangerous zombies. Not unusual for him to throw himself headlong into danger, walk across the ledge of a building, or make highly risky jumps. Although he certainly has no problem saving his classmates, he seems to mainly want to get the attention from his crush, class president Shyy. All right, well, look, if you're doing great things, let's not question the motives too much. I'd be like, hey, whatever makes you do all those awesome things. Appreciate it. Choi is also unexpectedly dangerous after she's bitten and turned into a half zombie. That doesn't stop him from doing everything he can to keep her safe, though. Anjo survives but keeps mourning her lost ones. Alias Gopher. Soju's daughter, Anjo, experiences tremendous loss throughout the show. One of the very first deaths in the group is her best friend. Later loses Soju after he sacrifices himself to save her and her friends. Finally, in one of the most shocking and saddest moments in the series, her longtime friend and potential love interest, Chong-san, is killed. Repeated emotional blows take a heavy toll. Ay. Yeah, that would be rough. Although she survives until the end, she remembers everyone she has lost. Often leaves the quarantine camp, leaving mementos in remembrance of their deaths. Namra is turned into a Hamby, a human zombie, and leaves the group. Prez. That's a good alias. Namra is among the lucky few who don't fully transform upon being bitten by a zombie. After being attacked by an antagonist, she becomes a Hamby, manages to control her impulses, and remains with her friends. Really? But as the show ends, the pressure of her new nature finally makes her snap. Doesn't hurt her friends, but ends up leaving the group of survivors. Later, the teens spot a fire on the roof of their old high school and reunite with Namra. She explained that there were more people like her, and she still had things to do. It would appear that Namra may have taken her leadership role to the next level and could perhaps be leading the Hambies in the future. That's amazing. That's kind of cool. I'm assuming she can like blend in because she's part zombie. Kind of interesting. Terrifying, but interesting. Definitely seems like an interesting show. I mean, it sounds good. Sounds really good. And those reviews didn't put me off to it at all. Because most of them were gleamingly supportive and just had reservations with, you know, kind of the... What was it? It was like... It was like... It was basically the fact that it seemed long-winded or something. It's like, all right. Wait, overlong season. Well, how many episodes were there? Go ahead and scroll up. 12 episodes. How is that overlong? 12, basically hour, some of them hour and a half. Dang. Basically. It's rare that people complain about too much show. Like, what? That is interesting. Wow. Let's go ahead and jump into the next video. It is called Without You. It is a Dragon Age romance. Let's see. I believe it's a music video, right? Go ahead and bring that up. Appreciate everybody for watching, hanging in there. If I could speak correctly. This is one of my requests. Awesome, awesome. Go ahead and bring that up. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Todd Reacts. Follow the Twitch channel as well. You can catch me live. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to play it. All right, come back here. There we go.
Here's the thing. Being near you makes me crazy.
Okay.
I can't
Three
imagine
currently
being
available
without
games.
you. Not ever.
Cullen, I care for you, and
What's wrong?
Could you think of me as anything more?
I could. I mean, I do think of you.
I may not get the chance to say this again. Meeting you was the most important thing that ever happened to me, Hawk.
Just being with me puts you at risk. The thought of them hurting you.
There's a lot of protagonist characters and potential romances. Okay.
Whatever I miss, whatever I regret, this is where I want to be.
Let there be nothing else. No one else. Just you and me.
I feel anxious when I look upon you. I dislike this sense of dependency.
No mage I know has ever dared to fall in love. This is the rule I will most cherish breaking.
If it's gonna get violent tonight, tell me you're gonna be alright. You're gonna be.
I need you to end this, because I can't.
I'm not letting you go.
We'll regret this, my lady.
I am not worth your distraction, and you are not worth mine.
Why risk everything we've built? Why risk your life? Because I love you.
I think the only games I can think of that ever had like a really strong romance, and it wasn't even much. Trying to think, like Red Dead Redemption was pretty good with John and oh gosh, I can't remember the wife's name. But when they started dating and you went to like take pictures together and stuff, little dates and whatnot, I was like, oh, this is nice. This is sweet. As opposed to, you know, the rest of the game where you're being outlaw and doing that stuff. It was like, oh, this is kind of nice.
You do?
But this seems way more
I
in
have
depth.
thought of you in the same way.
Like you said.
I simply had no idea you might feel the same.
Just tell me, Hawk. If I have a chance with you. You are our leader and my friend, and sometimes I think that maybe we could be more than that.
You learn not to hope for more. You'd be foolish to.
I wouldn't let you face this alone. You are the one bright light in Kirkwall.
I still have the earring. I would like to give it to you, as a token of affection. Will you take it?
You change everything.
Sweet talker.
Not often people surprise me, Kadan.
Kadan?
Kadan. My heart.
Whoa.
You don't have to be the brave one every time. I know you wanna make it right. You wanna make it's a life for a life.
I don't know how to be with you as Tom Rainier.
We'll figure it out.
Together.
You're beautiful and clever, and you never make any mistakes. And I don't deserve you.
The world may want my time, Josephine, but you have my heart.
Everything seemed clear then.
Even just the
Like I could
friendships,
do
and the
anything
connection
with you
with
myself.
the companions. So much.
Anything.
Yeah. Seems like they really spent a
Never
lot of time
anything
working on the dialogue.
I love you.
Here, tonight. I believe you.
Tell me, do. That's a yes?
Mel? It's foolish of me to even dream that you might. It's all right.
All the yeses. Every friggin' one.
Don't go.
It would be kinder in the long run, but losing you would.
When the time comes, you will be thrown into his path again.
Are you ready?
No, not at all. I already lost you once. Now I might lose you again.
What's interesting is the fact that I don't think I've
Cullen, if I don't...
heard of... I think I've heard the name Dragon Age. I just never seen any of it.
Promise me you won't die. I can't bear the thought of living without you.
The thought of losing you. I can't.
There's always something to die for. But something worth living for, that doesn't come every day.
Here I am, about to defend these mages in hopeless battle. You lead me to strange places, Hawk.
The world needs to see men like you, who do not fear to stand openly at a mage's side. Would you tell the world, the Knight Commander, that you love an apostate and you will stand beside him?
Your leader, your herald, your inquisitor!
This woman beside me is a native of Ferelden, risen to the ranks of the Grey Wardens. She is proof that glory is within reach of us all. She has survived despite the odds, and without her, none of us would be here.
I believe only that you are capable of anything. And it frightens me.
I can't give you a normal life. If you're with me, we'll be hunted, hated. The whole world will be against us.
No matter what I was or what becomes of me.
I'm kind of blown away right now.
I'm just a man with his
I don't
heart.
play a lot of games that involve like
it in your hands.
decent storylines.
I will not let Corypheus win. I will not let him take you from me.
10 years, 100 years from now, someone like me will love someone like you. And there will be no Templars to tear them apart.
Most games are kind of shallow.
We still have a long
honestly.
road to travel, Inquisitor. Wherever it takes us, I'm glad you're here.
Just now.
Then again, you know, if I have just an hour or something of time, do I want to play something story involved? Probably
She's
not.
more than I deserve.
That's kind of what I got right now,
make her
which is
days
kind of annoying.
easier as well.
All Dragon Age fans have their favorite romances depending on the
matter what
tropes they love most. Cool.
I want you to know that what we had.
So it's very
was real.
relationship based, whether it's friendship or obviously more than that.
Don't wanna live a life without you. I will watch the world burn without you.
Wow, I don't think I've seen anything quite like that. Are there 20 seconds of nothingness here? What is going on? What is happening? Yes, I think it's done. Wow. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video edit. There we go. Go throw it some love. Obviously, check out their channel as well. There might be other interesting videos that you might like. You have quests and side quests plenty too, and story movie forward. Oh, okay. Yeah, it seemed like obviously those were a lot of cutscenes, which obviously provide the story and the, you know, relationship juicy parts, if you will. That's very interesting. I don't think I've played too many heavy story-based games. You know, I've honestly, a lot of my past gaming involved, you know, sports games, Gears of War. I mean, there's story involved, but there's also like not a lot of it. Sims is kind of make up your own story. Obviously, Red Dead Redemption has a story to it, and it's very interesting and super in depth, but not a lot of like romance in it. And for as many people as you meet, it's not very deep. Like it's not a lot of, figuring out who they are as a person, and you get kind of like the background, all that stuff. This seems much more relationship heavy, where your interactions mean something. You're trying to like figure out, oh, what does this person mean to this character, and oh, are they going to make it? Are they not going to make it? Or how does this friendship evolve? Very story driven, which, yeah, as I was saying, I don't think I've played a lot of games like that. Most games I've played are pretty shallow. Like the dialogue is just kind of there. I would say most of the games have the depth of like Halo, where it's like, yeah, they're talking, but is there anything else going on there? No, not really. I recently found out the third game, Dragon Age Inquisition, I have well over 1,000 hours played, but in my defense, it's 10 years old. Whoa. Yeah, some of those graphics, I'm like, how old is this? Like, it seems pretty old. Dragon Age is a... Hold on, let's bring it up. Just start reading immediately. Dragon Age is a fantasy role-playing franchise developed by BioWare. The series focuses on the continent of Thetis, tells stories spanning multiple nations and various time periods. The series is named for the time it primarily takes place in, the Age of the Dragon. Makes sense, right? Holy cow. Video games, books, comics, films, mobile games, novels, tabletop RPG, web series. I mean, good grief. Oh my gosh. The amount of content. Oh, wow. You can get lost in Dragon Age. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Dragon Age was first announced during the 2004 E3 Expo. All right, let's take a moment of silence for the E3 Expo. They were fun while they lasted. I used to watch G4, and they would always cover the E3 Expos. Super cool. Oh my gosh. All the publishers, dev teams, console companies and everything would just do their like Apple showcase, if you will. And they would all go. And then all of a sudden they just started, Microsoft did its own thing, Sony did its own thing, and it just completely unraveled. But it used to be really fascinating. Currently has 38 installments, 4 of which are video games, as well as 1 expansion, 5 books, 12 comics, 1 film, 4 mobile games, 6 novels, and 1 short story collection. Oh my gosh. 3 web series, a podcast, and tabletop RPG game. Holy cow. Latest video game is Dragon Age Inquisition, which was released on November 18th, 2014. Good grief. I'm assuming this next one that comes out is going to be unbelievable. Holy crap. That's so long. Oh my gosh, that's almost as long as Grand Theft Auto 5. We've been waiting for 6. I think since 2013 when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out. So it's almost the same. The wait's been painful. I bet it has. Oh, it rhymes with Faye, Thetis. Okay. A lot of that, you pick the dialogue through? Oh, you pick the dialogue. Okay. So it's kind of like Fallout, where you have like, what do they call that? The dialogue trees? I'm not too deep in the lore. Netflix animation too. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I bet that wait has been painful. I've been waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6 because I don't play the online version. Like, they've been milking that for years. And I'm just like, can we get to 6, please? I play the single player and I'm happy and I enjoy it. I have no desire to hop on to GTA 5 online. None. I'm very much a fan of the solo games. Maybe I'm old school in that way, but yeah, 2014 is crazy. It's crazy. I would be just as upset, honestly. So you pick who to romance, who to friend. It's a Choices Matter series. Oh, okay. So I guess it's kind of like The Sims, where you get to choose your interactions, who becomes a friend, who becomes a lover. Woohooing and all the woohoo. Video games, Dragon Age Origins was released in 2009. Boy, they were on a streak there. 2009, 2007, 2014. What happened? It was revealed in 2018. Oh my gosh. Oh, wow. So either it has so much dialogue that it just took forever to make, or they've been having issues. I don't know how it gets pushed back that far. That's unbelievable. I assure you, the truth is never out of reach. Yavanna. Problem with magic is that it cheats. Sir Aaron is prone to exaggeration. They say there are no small roles, only small actors. That's kind of funny. I fall off horses. It's a thing I do. Spent my time cleaning like a servant. I have no wish to discuss our family's blood history. Very cool. Dragon Age creator wasn't a fan of writing romance at first. What? Quote, God, I hated it so much. Oh my gosh. And now it's just romance. Like, what? That is unbelievable. Everyone remembers the lovely romantic relationships in Dragon Age, but the series' former lead writer actually wasn't a fan of writing these intimate storylines at first. How do you become lead writer for a game that's based on romances? And other story as well, but romances is a pretty decent part of it, is what I'm gathering here. What? Obviously, very talented writer. But boy, can you imagine doing something you don't enjoy doing and then doing a lot of it? I think the developing team had some upheaval. Yeah, I bet they did. It seems like gaming studios right now are having issues, for sure. It's incredibly weird for anybody, quote, incredibly weird for anybody who knows me that I've become the romance guy. I'm the least romantic guy, especially when I get to the characters saying I love you to each other. Geider goes on to say he did such a good job on Baldur's Gate 2 romance options that developer BioWare kept giving him more lovey-dovey material to tackle. And God, I hated it so much. That's funny. That is interesting. He hates it, but he's really good at it, apparently. That's somewhat ironic since romantic storylines were almost a BioWare signature in the following years and are still regularly used as a selling point for modern RPGs such as Starfield, a game that Geider recently defended. Ooh. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? Not that big. Yeah. Oh boy. New updates, lighting changes. I heard some terrible things about Starfield. Got a 6 out of 10 on Steam. Oh my gosh. Ay. But for Guider, it all began on Baldur's Gate 2, which, quote, was really just like Lucas and I sitting down, figuring out time-based conversation triggers so that your relationship grows. Guider continues to explain that the appeal of these relationships comes from, quote, the feeling that this is a character you're dealing with that has agency of their own. I know nothing about that game. All I remember hearing about it is it had a lot of potential and it cost a fortune. Starfield. It was supposed to be this massive world or universe, I guess. You could go to all the planets and do, every planet had its own thing. And I guess it does, but apparently the load times are just outrageous for a lot of the actions, which you would expect. It's a huge game. But I guess it didn't really fulfill what people were expecting it to be. Guider also looked back at BioWare's history with queer characters, which started with a same-sex relationship in the criminally overlooked Jade Empire. When I heard that the other team had done this, I was like, this is something we can do in a video game? Holy crap. Despite that significant milestone, Gator remembers much trepidation at the studio when it came to developing queer characters in Dragon Age Origins. Quote, I had a character I wanted to make gay, Zevran, the assassin. Apparently, the studio had thought that would only represent a small portion of the audience, so Zevran eventually became bisexual, like many of BioWare's early queer characters, to, quote, do double duty for players. After serving as the lead writer on all 3 Dragon Age games, oh my gosh. So he hated it so much, and then he eventually just kind of gave into it, I guess. I don't know. Guider soon founded his own development house, Summerfall Studio, which recently released Stray Gods, the role-playing musical. Really. Our review had good things to say about the sing-song adventure game. Dragon Age writer calls romance a natural outgrowth for BioWare. BioWare fan recently asked David Guider, lead writer for Dragon Age series, if the company had considered making a game without romance subplots. Guider responded that it's been a temptation, but he believes it's something BioWare not only does well, but is also something few other developers tackle. Yes, that is true. I can't think of any other game that I've played where the romance subplots have been even 25% of the game, 10% of the game, 5% of the game. So it's not something that's widely available. So it makes sense they would lean into it. If it sells, right? So it makes sense that they would find the niche and just go into it. Guider himself is gay? Oh, okay. Baldur's Gate 3 recently did it and people loved it. So yeah, exactly. To me, the thing that BioWare does best is not story, but characters. I think our characters are done to a level that few other games even attempt. I would agree with that. With an element of agency that strikes a chord in our players, and romances have been a natural outgrowth of that. Sure, we could stop, but that would be turning our backs on something we do, which almost no one else does. Yeah, there you go. I literally cannot think of anything else that would even come close to that. It just makes sense, People are buying it. People like it. Why would you do anything else? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's that old saying. While Guider's defense of romance in BioWare games is certainly passionate, he noted that it's not outside the realm of possibility that they could be left behind in the future. Quote, perhaps if we made a new IP, we might decide it's best to not open that particular Pandora's box, which, yes, romances have always been, and go with something else. But that something else better be something damn good, as there are a lot of people who enjoy that part of our games immensely, and you might not be willing to buy into a new series which didn't have it. Well, you don't have to stop doing the romance stuff. Like, you could continue making new IP or continue on with current IP, make a new Dragon Age game, and then also come out with, a game that might not focus on it at the same time. Like, just split up the office there, do a normal or maybe something, original that you wanted to try. something you have an idea of, but also come out with a nice Dragon Age game or something else that they're known for. Another Baldur's Gate or something. Maybe they don't have the amount of people. Maybe it's a small studio, so they can't really afford to split up their team. And, you know, the new series has like 8 romances that they've teased a lot. Dang. That is so much. Quote, some folks might be eager to write those fans off, but I'm not really sure that BioWare feels the same. Well, I mean, if you're profitable and people are buying your game and it's getting great reviews, I mean, why not, right? Best romances in the Dragon Age series. Number 8, Josephine Montoyet. I'm definitely butchering that. Maybe a noble woman, but she can be pretty grounded and understanding if the need arises. Makes her a great character to pursue a relationship with if they wish. Wooing Josephine is pretty by the book, feeling like something out of a classic romance novel. Players even have to duel a man who has been promised Josephine's hand in marriage, which makes for a pretty fun time. That's awesome. So you can literally choose anyone to romance. Kind of interesting. Elena is one of the most beloved characters, being a permanent figure in the series since the very first game. Character who's nice at heart and feels like the nicer, more endearing romance option available in the game. New series has like 8 romances. Montilyet. Not anyone? Oh, okay. So I'm assuming you have options, like 8 options. Liliana. Oh my gosh. I love how I'm trying to figure these out and I'm just completely messing them all up. All right, this could either be Anders or Anders. I'm partial to Anders because I think of Workaholics. And he always explains his name. It's Anders. Hard on. Anders. It's so funny. Oh my gosh. That show is wild. I am so sad it just disappeared. Dragon Age 2 is a game that split fans right down the middle, and understandably so. It was called out for reining its scope back a bit too much, leading to a smaller game with simplified controls and lack of depth when it came to the character writing and storylines. However, there are still times when the game shows its strengths, particularly when it comes to romance. Anders? Dang. However, there are still times when the game shows its strength, particularly when it comes to romance. Anders is an especially great romance. The tragic nature of this dalliance, being both a highlight and the worst part of this heartbreaking tryst. Iron Bowl is a towering Kunari who is pretty powerful and quite charismatic. Both male and female inquisitors can engage in a romance with him, with this character being quite entertaining indeed. Iron Bull's charisma is easily the best thing about him, every shared interaction being both memorable and hilarious. Romance starts off on a casual note, but players can get serious if they wish. Alistair, great character who players can romance if they love his shy and dependable attitude. He's a person who takes anything romantic seriously, so players should only propose this tryst if they feel that they've formed a great bond with Alistair. Maybe a bit reserved, but Alistair can be really intimate when the situation calls for it. As long as the Grey Warden doesn't make fun of him and reciprocates his love, we'll have a great time wooing Alistair throughout the game. Iron Bull is voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr.? What? Oh my gosh. Sierra, great character and easily one of the most charismatic party members in Dragon Age Inquisition. She always has a bit of a spring in her step, with her sharp tongue and impressive wit, leading to all her lines being an absolute treat. Female Inquisitors can engage in a bit of romance with Sarah, giving her character more depth than the usual funny rogue personality is constantly at the forefront. First one, spending quality time with her is easily one of the best parts of Dragon Age Inquisition, and something that fans remember long after they finish playing the game. It's a bit of a Robin Hood style character. Cool. Fenri or Fenris or Fenrai. I'm assuming Fenri. Fenris? Oh, okay. Is one of the more popular romance options in Dragon Age 2, with this character initially being very pretty wary and jaded world. Well, that happens with age. It takes time, but Hawke manages to peel back those layers and see Fenris for who he really is. Watching Fenris open up to Hawke and be totally in love is a genuinely beautiful sight. There's a reason why many people consider him to be one of the best video game companions to this day. Morrigan is another character that many players absolutely love. Sarcasm in Bruscanus? Wait. Bruscanus are what make her so fun to converse with, and the romance with her is a pretty mature one that slowly allows players to explore her character beyond what she lets on. Easily one of the most iconic video game mages of all time. If players stick with her as a romantic option in Origins, then they should be ready to fight for their love. Dang. Fenris, a freed slave who's been abused, and the game spans 10 years exploring his learning to be free. Oh, wow. That sounds like a great storyline. My favorite in DA2. Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. Obviously, Iron Bull was in a lot of that video. Very interesting. I don't think like I said, I've never played a game kind of like that. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is frickin' Sims, but that's not really, there's no dialogue in The Sims. You know, what is that language called? It's like, not really exactly the same. The only thing I've played with dialogue trees is probably Fallout 3. Simlish, that's right. Yeah, I think the only thing I played with dialogue trees is Fallout 3. Can't think of anything else. Oh no, recently Hogwarts Legacy. That I've played. Looking forward to playing it again. That still doesn't have that level of romance, obviously. It's a completely different audience they're aiming at, but yeah. Very interesting. There's some great character-specific edits I'm going to send your way. Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That is so in-depth. You know, what's interesting is Red Dead Redemption 2 is known for its like dialogue and depth and all that stuff. But it's very, for as deep as it is, it's very surface level. Like, you don't really get a lot of relationships in it. You get some that are kind of interesting. Arthur kind of, you know, lets you into his life a little bit, but nowhere near like the romance of this. Like, this is completely different. You can tell they spent considerable time trying to get, you know, basically the whole span of a romance in there with each character that you're able to match up with, which is a totally different experience. Wow, that is something. I am a little shocked, honestly. You know, I know games get pretty involved with the dialogue trees. You know, Fallout 3 was kind of interesting, but it was all very surface level. It was just advancing the story, and maybe you get to know about a certain area or something like that. You probe for more information, but it's not as heavy in the relationships. So that's very niche, and the fact that BioWare has games for that, multiple games for that, obviously they should stick to it because it's not available in a lot of places. Let's go ahead and start the last video of the stream, last video of the week. It is the Enduring Sisterhood of Charmed. Go ahead and jump in. Bring it up. And go.
One of the biggest factors which plays into the enduring popularity and appeal of
You know what's happening?
And appeal of charm.
I think YouTube is trying to play ads, but forgetting the fact that I have premium. Like, I don't know why that continues to happen. I don't know. Maybe I have to refresh my browser or something. I don't know what's going on there, but it seems to never happen on the app, but it happens on the browser. Weird.
Is its portrayal and emphasis on the relationships and dynamics between the sisters. It becomes particularly interesting when comparing the two different
YouTube's
trios,
in crisis, yeah.
how the dynamic changes between the trios, and the way in which the relationships shape the sisters' characters.
Now look what you did. You went and turned Prue into the middle child.
The original trio have quite a typical sibling dynamic. Prue, as the eldest, is the leader and guide, the one who ultimately makes the decisions and who shoulders most of the responsibility. As such, she is a rigid and somewhat authoritative figure. Phoebe is the young, carefree baby sibling who is often the troublemaker and the one left out of things, and who suffers from a lack of trust from her older siblings. And Piper?
I understand that. As the youngest sibling, you do get a nice little... the oldest sibling goes through some of the harder things and more harsh punishments. Middle sibling, you know, striving for attention and all that. It's a very funny stereotype that definitely works out to be true. And then the youngest sibling kind of gets away with everything. And, you know, yeah, I totally relate to that, honestly.
Is the overlooked middle child and peacemaker, close to both her sisters, but constantly having to bridge the gap between the two of them.
Don't put me in the middle. I'm not. You were born in the middle.
While these roles don't really change over the course of the first three seasons, and may at first seem stereotypical, they work for the characterization of the sisters, helping to illustrate the dominance of Prue, the compassion of Piper, the recklessness of Phoebe, and allowing for individual growth through the one-on-one relationships within the trio. At the start of the series, Prue and Phoebe have a relationship which almost mirrors that of a mother and child. As discussed in my video regarding Prue's character arc, Prue was pushed into a parenting role at a young age, and this is most clearly displayed in her early interactions with Phoebe. At the beginning of season 1, Prue is still an authority figure to Phoebe, and Phoebe is still a child to Prue. Neither sister knows quite how to break out of these roles, even though Phoebe desperately wants to.
Honestly, if you grow up with older and younger siblings, that tends to be the case no matter what. Like, as a younger sibling, I always looked up to my older sibling. No matter what. They were never, like, parent figures to me, but there is definitely a bit of that, like, you're up on the hierarchy, whether it be age or whatever, maturity. But you do look up to them quite a bit. The baby is always the baby. Indeed. No matter how old I get, I'm always the baby.
I don't need a mom anymore. You know, I need a sister.
A big part of both sisters' arcs in the first season is their evolving relationship with
Which is funny because I'm also the tallest.
Prue learns to treat Phoebe as an equal and a sister rather than a child, Phoebe learns to stop seeing Prue as an authority figure and gradually stops projecting her own insecurities onto her sister. They both gain personal traits during this transition, with Prue learning to not be so judgmental and Phoebe becoming more responsible and more trustworthy. Piper's relationship with both her sisters don't so much evolve as grow stronger and closer.
Same with my younger bro, he's 6'4".
The middle child,
oh my gosh.
Piper is close with both her younger and her older sister, but in very different ways. Piper and Prue are almost like best friends. They are shown to be very close,
it's a younger sibling cheat
outside
code.
Of the manor. Because of their closeness, their relationship
you might be older, but I'm
does
taller.
sometimes exclude Phoebe, which Phoebe herself does mention from time to time.
You've known her longer. I mean, there was that whole bonding time before I was even born.
Piper has a more passive nature than both of her fiery sisters, and we learn over the course of the series that she was often rescued and protected by Prue, which leaves Piper with something of hero worship towards her older sister and a codependency which she is forced out of due to Prue's abrupt death. When Prue dies, Piper grieves her much more deeply than Phoebe does, mostly due to this loss of protection and a sense of being cast adrift without her older sister's guidance.
She never thought about what would happen to me and maybe she was gone.
As mentioned, Piper's relationship with Phoebe, while also close, has a different dynamic to her relationship with Prue. Whereas Prue and Piper are best friends who happen to occasionally, and accidentally, exclude their younger sister, Phoebe and Piper come across more as partners in crime against their older sister, a dynamic which probably sprung up during their childhood when Prue was more of an authority figure to them both. Piper and Phoebe's relationship...
And I do get that, by the way. You know, as the youngest sibling, you're somewhat left out of a lot of things, and that's usually because you're younger, right? Who wants to hang out with somebody younger than them when they're trying to be cool and fit in with their friends and all that stuff? I completely get it.
Relationship is very fun and somewhat
it's never something I took
and
personally.
One can definitely picture them driving Prue
as
crazy
annoying
with
as
their
it might have been
as children. The two younger sisters are confidants and often prop one another up and help each other through their issues and problems. They seem to lean on each other a lot for emotional support and advice, which again probably stems from Prue being unapproachable due to being a surrogate parent. Obviously, the dynamic within the trio changes once Prue dies and Paige joins the family. Suddenly, Piper and Phoebe are pushed into new roles they've never experienced, and ones which they initially don't quite know how to handle. Paige herself is also pushed into a new role, having been an only child her whole life, and suddenly having to adjust to having siblings.
Are they?
The soon-to-be ex-sisters I was telling you about?
Within the new trio, Piper is suddenly thrust into the elder sister and leadership role.
Wow.
Paige into the role of the
completely
baby,
flipped
and
the
Phoebe
script.
into the role of the middle child and mediator. None of the sisters initially adjust well to these roles, in particular Piper, who struggles with the responsibility and pressure of not only being the eldest sister, but the leader of the Charmed Ones, and, ultimately, is unable to fill the role in the same manner Prue did.
Oh my gosh, you know what I'm getting like strong images of is, you know, very much like monarchy. Like if the older sibling who is, you know, the heir apparent kind of thing, just either gives it up or dies or whatever, and then the second kid is all of a sudden thrust into the spotlight. The heir and the spare, right? It's like if the spare all of a sudden became the heir, and they're just like, wait, what? I thought I was going to get this easy life where I didn't have to do anything. I just showed up for like ceremonial things and, you know, said a few words and that was it. All of a sudden they're launched into the air and they're just like, I don't know if I like this.
Paige, the charmed ones come first. The charmed ones come first? It always worked when Prue said it.
Piper's inability to truly fill the eldest sister role in the way in which Prue did is understandable. Prue grew up as the eldest and was pushed into early responsibility by Grams. It was a role she literally spent her entire life in, so she was always going to be more comfortable and stronger in the role than Piper was. Additionally, Prue was an alpha personality, an extrovert who was naturally able to lead. Piper is pretty much the opposite, an introvert who shies away from the front and center, and as such, never really embraces
it's amazing how different
sister.
Siblings can
Piper's
be.
Inability and refusal to take Prue's place as the head of the family produces a different dynamic within the trio. Instead of the eldest being the leader, the middle sibling the peacemaker, and the youngest the baby, the charmed ones actually become equals. Whereas in the early seasons, Prue was clearly the leader and the strongest of the sisters,
right.
In the later seasons, the girls function more as a team, sharing the leadership role and the responsibility. This isn't only demonstrated through the narrative, but also through the blocking of scenes. In the early seasons, during spellcasting and demon vanquishing, Prue was almost always front and center, the elder sister, the protector, the most powerful, often shown shielding her younger siblings. In the later seasons, The front and center position is shared among the sisters, and no one witch emerges as the strongest. Within the trio, Phoebe and Piper each develop individual dynamics with Paige right from their first introduction to her. Due to her open and impulsive nature, Phoebe is much more welcoming towards Paige, and she becomes to Paige what Prue was to Piper, a cool, older sister with whom Paige develops a close bond that occasionally borders on hero worship.
As an older sister, you're quite a bit to live up to. Shut up. I swear, dude. Get out of here. I'm telling you the truth.
Phoebe and Paige become very close.
You know what? This kind of makes a lot of sense. Like, if the older sibling goes, that kind of role doesn't really get filled very well because you're literally born first, so you're like a natural born leader. So after that person leaves, it's just kind of becomes run by committee, basically. That makes a lot of sense.
And Phoebe is something of a confidant to Paige, someone whom she can turn to for advice and support. While Piper is initially distant with Paige, fearing intimacy in the aftermath of Prue's death, she does come to love her baby sister fiercely, and her and Paige's dynamic develops into a beautiful sisterly bond, with Piper being very protective of Paige and stepping up as a big sister. She credits Paige with being the one to heal the family after Prue's death and acknowledges the positive effect Paige's presence has had in their lives.
Paige saved us. She is the reason I am still standing here. She brought this family back together.
Despite being uncomfortable with the elder sister role, Piper is a genuinely good and caring older sister to Paige, and she develops a maternal instinct towards her, similar to the one Prue showed towards both her younger sisters. At the end of the day, the relationships between the sisters was what drove Charmed. The magic and season arcs,
that
the
TV
love interest
CGI,
and
not
monsters of the
good.
week, all
Not
added to
very
the show's
good.
appeal. But what kept fans coming back was the sisters' dynamics, their fights and reconciliations, their love and their friendship. Charmed was not a show about witches who happened to be sisters.
I'll say this about it.
It was
It's
a show about
charming.
sisters who happened to be witches.
Good
and
God.
That sisterhood is a vital part of the show's endurance.
Very interesting. Excellent video. Like the narration and the explanation going with it. Link down below in the YouTube description for the original video. Go throw it some much deserved love. And also check out the channel. Subscribe if you feel so obliged, because I'm sure that they have amazing videos for you to watch. So go ahead and check it out. As with every video we watched here today, links down below in the YouTube description with the title as well, so it makes it really easy to tell which one's which. That era CGI didn't age well? Definitely not. I like rewatching Buffy, but the special effects are special. Indeed. That is very true. That is very true. And even at the time, I think I remember going, you know, this isn't that great. I think even at the time, I was just like, these special effects are pretty bad. And eventually we're going to look back at them and go, ooh. Really enjoyed that. Always saw Charm trailers on Buffy VHSs, but didn't have the channel it was on in the UK. Oh, okay. I think I had a family member that really enjoyed Charmed, like loved it. Would actively watch like reruns of it and stuff like that. Like just adored it. And I think it was because of the sisterly bond, which is obviously showcased very well. I related to a lot of that, even though I don't have sisters. Just that sibling dynamic, you know, having the oldest, the middle, and the youngest. I mean, I grew up with that, so it's very, very interesting. Let's go ahead and bring up some information. Charmed, every power each Hallowell sister has. See here, Prue's control freak personality manifested itself in telekinesis, ability to move objects with her mind. Started out with small feats and developed to the point where she could throw people across a room simply by focusing her anger on them. And Prue was also able to fine-tune her control of her powers. In Season 2, sisters traveled 10 years into the future, and Prue discovered that her future self had enormously powerful telekinetic abilities, though in the show she died before they ever reached that level. Season 2, her powers expand to include astral projection, with Prue leaving her physical body behind and traveling in an astral form to distant locations. Piper, ability to freeze time. Oh gosh, that sounds so good, doesn't it? That sounds so good. Though what she's actually doing is slowing down molecules until they reach a standstill rather than literally freezing time. And she learned to master her powers. She was able to freeze, as she learned to master her powers, she's able to freeze individual objects without stopping everything around her. That's impressive. Piper's powers later expanded so that she could speed up molecules, which cause objects to explode. Oh yeah, because they're bouncing off each other. That makes sense. This ability was particularly handy for fighting demons, I assume it would be, as under the right circumstances, Piper could vanquish them simply by making them blow up. I guarantee the special effects on that is awful, but that sounds so cool. Very cool. I like this power. Absolutely. Phoebe, most of her powers are telepathic in nature. Experiences premonitions, with visions becoming clearer and easier to manipulate for clues as the series progressed. Also manifested itself as a spidey sense, able to dodge incoming dangers. Phoebe discovers that her future self can use her telepathic abilities to end people with her mind, though she never gets this far in the show. Season 6 develops the telepathic ability of empathy, through which she's able to sense and influence the emotions of others around her. Weird. Wildcard magic power, however, is levitation. She first discovers the ability to levitate in Season 3. Over the course of the series, she learns different useful ways to manipulate it. That's kind of cool. Paige has a smorgasbord of powers. Thanks to being both a daughter of a witch and a white lighter, guardian angel for witches. Telekinetic orbing, which allows her to call objects to her by making them dematerialize and then rematerialize in her hands. That's cool. Oh my gosh. Like sitting on the couch and then the remote or the clicker or whatever you want to call it is all the way across the room. You just, boom, there it is. Oh, that'd be so great. Are you going to pick powers like with Umbrella Academy? Absolutely. You could also use this power to teleport and then throw objects. And the ability grew in complexity until she could call for objects without saying their name out loud and could send objects to different locations instead of just calling them to herself. On the white lighter side, she could also orb herself, to different locations. Basically teleportation. Create illusions using glamour, heal injuries, and sense when people under her protection are in need of help. That's amazing. Good grief. All right, here we go. This would be more helpful in like day-to-day stuff. Just being able to rematerialize things in your hands. Like, oh, I forgot to get that. Like, oh, I left my keys on the kitchen counter. Let me get it. Let's see. Spidey sense, pretty cool. Premonitions, not bad. Okay, being able to freeze time, awesome. Oh, I would love to be able to stop time for just even a little bit, you know? Just maybe you're enjoying the moment. Maybe it's a great moment and you just want to sit in the moment. Causing things to explode, pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Pretty cool. Fighting demons, not as cool. Vanquishing them by making them blow up, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Could you pop popcorn like that? You speed it up and then cause it to pop, like not go crazy, you know? Just pop the popcorn. That'd be pretty handy. Telekinesis, ability to move objects with her mind. Throw people across a room. I don't know. Astral projection. I mean, that'd be cool to travel. I mean, that'd be a really cheap way to travel places. I mean, you don't get to interact with anything, obviously, but you get to see stuff. Yeah, I think I gotta go with Piper. Freeze time, blow things up, and you could stop objects and not stop things around them. Like, that's so cool. Wow. Yeah, I gotta go with Piper. I think freeze time and play with molecules one. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's any other choice there, but, you know, let us know down below in the YouTube comments which one you'd choose. I think I would go with Piper. Seems like the most fun, most interesting. And if I could pop popcorn with my mind, that'd be pretty sweet. Astral projection would mean being the fly on the wall, but still pick. Yeah. It'd be kind of interesting. Be able to travel places, be a fly on the wall, but can't really experience life, you know? You're just kind of there as like a ghostly premonition or something. Spidey sense is kind of neat. Use her telepathic abilities to end people with her mind. That's pretty crazy. Levitate does sound cool. That is cool. Like, how far does that go? How far can you master levitation? Can you turn yourself into like Superman where you're just like flying through the air? Or are you just hovering, you know? And you can just hover higher. How far that goes could be a game changer. Because it's got kind of all the cool things like seeing the future, Spidey sense, being able to, you know, protect yourself, manipulate people's emotions. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That could go evil pretty quick. Levitate, I mean, that's cool. That's drawing me towards Phoebe. Empathy could be a problem if you're stuck near someone super hormonal. Yes, indeed. Or you take the, you know, the evil route with it, right? Making people fall in love with you. If you can influence emotions, that gets a little gross real quick. That could get gross. Funny enough, this is a thread based on this video. That was way too zoomed in. Let's do this the manual way. Thoughts on the video? Very nice. I agree that the main appeal of the show was the sisterhood over the other relationships and even magic. I like the breakdown of their personalities and how they relate to one another throughout the show. And though I like the idea that after Prue is gone, the sisters all become more equal, I thought the show worked better and they functioned better as a group with more clearly defined roles. Yeah, I kind of get that. Well, if we're being honest here, the show was written to be that, right? And losing Shannon Doherty or the leader pretty much hurt the show because it changed it into something it wasn't supposed to be. And obviously they couldn't have somebody come in and be like, oh, I'm the older sister. Oh, okay, we're back to normal. Sisterhood was the best part of the show. I think that's going to be a running theme. Also agree it was better with Prue. If only Shannon didn't die and they were moved to another network after season 2, perhaps it could have reached, perhaps its reach could have been even more amazing. Yeah, maybe. Charmed, especially seasons 1 through 4, was one of the best female empowering shows of all time. I wished it was a girl Piper had and continued the female empowerment and sisterhood theme, but the show set out to be. That changed when it was a boy. I'm sure Charm's reach could have been amazing and bigger if it was on cable. Interesting. Yeah, it was on network TV. CW or something. WB, right? Or no, was it ABC? I can't remember. Let's see here. If the show ended after 4 seasons with Prue, maybe they do a spin-off that focuses on the 3 daughters of the Charmed ones, all cousins, and they were on Netflix. Kind of like a Vampire Diaries kind of thing. Like, end the show and then focus on like a next generation. He was on WB. Oh, okay. I think Piper having a girl would have stayed true to the original tone of Charmed. Wow, this is a heck of a long input. Holy cow. Hate to admit season 6 saved the show in ratings, even if it was the season that totally almost stopped me watching for good. I guess some just see the show differently. I wish I could watch the show through the eyes of the fan in this video, but I can't for many of the reasons stated above. I believe it was Chris who saved season 6. Apparently a couple people think that. Well, yeah, I think it did lose something when Shannon left. Obviously, the showrunners tried to save it, but once it lost the original trio, I think it was just kind of doomed to be less than what it could have been, or less than what it was. Obviously, you know for a fact they were scrambling to figure out a way to get through it. And I'm sure, gosh, what was the name? Paige. I'm sure Paige was a nice character, and, they obviously had great moments with the sisters, the other sisters that survived, but I'm thinking it was one of those situations where it was never quite the same. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but, having an oldest sibling, you just kind of look up to them as like, oh, this is the the first sibling. They have the most experience. They have the most life knowledge. You just kind of look up to them in a not an idol worshiping way, but more of like I respect this person's opinion because they've been through more life than me, but they're also like a peer. So losing that would be a tough connection to lose, because the whole show seemingly was built around that. Prue was like the parent figure to the two other siblings. Yeah, I think it would have, if I was watching and after season 4, I think I would have lost a little bit of interest, honestly. That is too bad. Luke said in the new reboot, they chose to do the death and the new sibling route, so the showrunners must have thought the show benefited from it. Really? That's interesting. That is interesting, because I would have thought they would have been, well, if I was a showrunner and that happened, I would have been pretty perturbed, I think. I think I would have been pretty mad. Or maybe the creator is like, ugh, this isn't what I wanted it to be, Then again, it could have been written like one of those shows where eventually they all died for some reason. Like, that would have been an interesting take. Like, do it very much like Squid Game or, All of Us Are Dead. Just have the main characters die off and get replaced. That would have been fascinating. Just have, like, ruthless character deaths. That would have been so emotionally torturous, though. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? I mean, just having the oldest sister go, Prue, that was probably traumatizing for fans. But I can't imagine all of them going. Whew. Oh my gosh. I think that's a different show, indeed. That is a very different show. I'm just trying to come up with, ways to, I don't know, make it better, make it different. I don't know how you would keep it going with losing the main sister, or the oldest sister, which tends to be the main sister, honestly. Just based off of age. I'm thinking back to Home Improvement, which is a very different show. Similar time period, but they had 3 boys, 3 sons. And do enough live streams, start pitching your own shows to make. Right. That's very true. I'm thinking of Home Improvement, and they had 3 sons. And, at first you're just like, yeah, whatever. It's just 3 sons or something. But you automatically kind of levitation's on the mind. You automatically kind of go towards the oldest son and think like, oh, what he says is probably law. And, you get more interested in like the oldest sibling, and the rest just kind of fall into place. Gravitate. There's the word. Good grief. Gravitate. It's been a long week. Gravitate towards the oldest sibling. That seems to be the case. I don't know why. Maybe that's just because I'm the youngest sibling and I look up to oldest siblings. Maybe all younger siblings look up to their older sibling, if they have a good relationship, of course. Maybe that's just a natural thing. But yeah, for some reason I always gravitate towards the oldest sibling as being more interesting. Probably because they can do more. It's been a long stream, 3 hours. Oh my gosh, we did just cross the 3-hour mark. Good grief. I hope you enjoyed it. Those were all the wonderful videos selected by ToddReacts.com members. If you too would like to select some, you have some burning desire, you have a video in mind, go ahead and sign up at ToddReacts.com. Season and series tiers are the 2 that you can request videos for that will show up on stream. You can come watch it with us. Follow the Twitch channel if you want to watch live. If you don't, I totally get it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All the timestamps will be down below in the video description. Super handy if you want to jump around. Go for it. And yes, don't forget to subscribe. We are pushing for subscriptions right now through the end of 2024. Who knows? We might even do a giveaway if we reach a certain number. I'll think about it. We're pushing. With over 93,000 not subscribed last month. I figure we can do better. I have faith in you. I believe in you. And yeah, if you want to check out more videos or you keep coming back for more, definitely subscribe. Just a nice thing to do. It's free, an easy way to support the channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Check out the summer collection. It is leaving soon. 10 days left at this point. So go ahead and check it out. 15% off for all website members. Ships worldwide. Each item is made specifically as a one-off and then shipped to you. So it might take 3 or 4 days for the production, and then it ships because they actually have to make it. Good news is it ships from all over the world, which is very cool. So it cuts down on shipping time tremendously. I think there's like 6 different countries just all over the place that it ships from. So it's very neat. I like the people that handle it and whatnot. So it's been awesome. Join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of great people in there. You will meet great people in there. It's very nice. It's welcoming. You will fit in. There's 140 members in there right now. Very cool. So if you're into anything, you're passionate about anything, I'm sure you are, go ahead and join the Discord. Links are available everywhere. So go ahead and join today. And I'm trying to think, did I forget anything? Oh, yeah. Have a great weekend. You too, Jace. The peach does demand it. Indeed. Have a great weekend. Do something fun. Doesn't have to be crazy, or expensive or anything. But whatever you find fun, I hope you get out or stay in and enjoy it. And yeah, I shall see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining, everybody. I appreciate it if you join the live stream. If you're watching on YouTube, hi, YouTube. Be sure to subscribe. And yes, I will see you on Monday. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.